All right, so should be streaming to YouTube, I think. Let's see. How come I don't see it? Well, I might have to change the thing. It says I'm live. Hold on. Okay. Oh, there we are. Okay, it is. Good. Just setting things up here. Why the fuck does it make that noise every time? All right. Hold on. Copy invite link. Paste. And then all right, it's published to the YMS Patreon, and I will just publish it to the Adam Plays one as well. All right. So it's published now. And hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Oh, we both had a fucked up throat.
Yeah, for a second there. More people will come.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yes. I'm not sure who this other person is, but let's see. Well, hello. Hello. Oh, it's your new name.
Yeah, Monks with Psychosis, my new name.
I forgot about the other name. How are you?
I'm good. Looking through
Doing
my
all
old
right?
maps.
Going through your what?
Going through our magic cards.
Okay, cool.
Just see. With my mum's permission, I'm gonna see if any of them are valuable, and I'm gonna like grade them, and I'm gonna like see if I can sell them to fund a trip to Japan or something.
How many are there, do you think? A couple hundred?
I've got. Sorry for interrupting. I've got a few valuable ones here that I was looking up on a website called MTG Stocks. I don't know if that's valuable or not, but I just found a few that. I found a really funny card also that happens to look like the person. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to find it. How are you?
Oh shit, you're real high, Olivia.
Hey.
What else is new?
I'm normal.
Your normal pills?
Yeah.
No, it's fire breathing. Anyway, it's a card that was drawn in 1997.
I don't do drugs.
No. I can't believe they still kept me demonetized. They just ignored me after that. Did anybody see that on
420
Twitter?
awards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Their policy that they linked me to explicitly states
Oh my god.
that like
The
what I
person on
put
this
in my
card
video
is
is monetizable. What is that?
the person on this card is looks like the artist drew this as if the person on the card is dabbing.
Oh, that's great.
It's
That's
so
funny.
That's funny.
It was shot in 1997.
Yeah,
That's
part of
so
me
weird.
part of me just wants to like make a video and just like clickbait or something and just be like YouTube doesn't care about its users or like something like that. Like I want to be able to make back some of the money that I lost over the past like 4 months from YouTube just like fucking me up.
Careful with clickbait videos. You don't want to end up like Mama Max.
Oh. I think there was more of an
Or
issue with that though.
you could just do a Madam Web review. I'm sure that'll do well in the algorithm.
I recorded it yesterday.
I'm so excited to watch Madam Web now.
It's really funny.
I
a
saw
great
it. It's
movie.
like I saw it as well. It was really fucking funny.
Yeah.
I-
It's
my
like
favorite
top
thing-
tier bad movie.
Yeah, it's the perfect kind of bad movie. My favorite thing about it was the fact that the audience I was with was completely into it for some reason.
That's
Because
funny.
every time like something would happen, there would be like these 3 girls that were in front of me that were, I don't know how old they were, but they seemed old, around my age or something. They would be like, "What the?" or "Oh my god," or "Whoa,
Oh,
that's a
man.
nice twist." It was literally like that. The
That's funny.
entire
What if they were
film.
doing it ironically?
I honest to God could not tell if they were doing it ironically, but it made the experience a lot better. Like
That's
if this
funny.
was during like a good movie like Poor Things or something, then it would annoy me. But the fact that it's from Madame Web made it so much funnier in my opinion.
Yeah. Where the hell? Oh, it's right there. I've got a bunch. So I've been crunching hard on my Oscar stuff too, and same with the editors. And it looks like they caught up to me in terms of the stuff that they've edited. So I got to record more and I got to watch more. Oh, I'm going to be doing a watch along today for sure.
Oh, for what?
I think so Alex recommended for the podcast I Am Sam. So I'm very excited for that one, and I think today is the day that I have to see it because we're recording the next one early.
Is that like Will I Am at Home?
No, it's
Okay, I'm looking at it. It's a Jesse Nelson film. That's the director, and it's got Sean Penn, Michelle Pfeiffer, and
it's apparently like a riding the bus with my sister level performance, but he's like trying to get an Oscar, but you know, in
chocolate very nutritious.
Yeah, it's what they're referencing in Tropic Thunder when they say never go full Ardsler.
Never go full. It started.
It start.
That's funny.
Never go full. It start.
Yeah, as for me, I've been doing a bunch of Oscar stuff as well. I watched all the documentaries, and this includes To Kill a Tiger because I used your VPN sponsorship, Adam. So, and I also
did it work
watched
fine?
Yeah, it worked fine. And
okay,
then
great.
I watched all the documentaries and all the shorts. I somehow found tortillas of some of the shorts of all of them, I think. Although some of them were free on YouTube, so that's why.
I need to watch more Oscars shit. I'm behind on that.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to do for sure that the podcast movie today, and then maybe I'll sneak in some other Oscars ones. I'm thinking the 2 foreign language I want to see the most.
I want to see those as well. I haven't seen Perfect Days, but there's no theaters around me that are playing it, and I really want to try see those other 2. But we all know Zone of Interest is going to win anyways. But what I will say is there were after watching all 15 shorts, there were no shorts that were as good as My Year of Dicks, but there were, however, 2 hilariously terrible ones. There was
I need to see the shorts.
Yeah,
they should be showing in theater in downtown Minneapolis.
I pirated all of them. Well, some of them I pirated. Some of them were free on YouTube. Some of them were on streaming services. But I will say,
what are you admitting to right now on stream?
You're going
on YouTube.
I'm sending the RCMP.
I'm calling Susan.
Anyways, as I was saying, There were two hilariously terrible ones, which was The After on Netflix and the animated short War Is Over. Those were fucking horrendous, and they were the worst ones. But they were funny bad ones. So
yeah,
good watch along ones.
I feel like for the shorts category, like it doesn't even benefit me in terms of trying to figure out who's gonna win. You know. So what does Scott do? Does he just like look up an article of like what's getting buzz? Because he seems to have confident answers about things that he hasn't seen.
I don't know. Like it seems that that's going to be the case. Can I spoil what happens in War Is Over? Because the ending of War Is Over is it's a short.
Is it an animated short?
It's the animated. It's one of the animated ones.
I might watch the animated one, so I would say no spoilers. Sorry.
I will be watching all 15 of them. So
I watched all 15 of them. Also, another short that was one of the documentary shorts was like there were no good documentary shorts, but one of them was like way worse than the other ones. It was the ABCs of book banning. That one was like,
I heard it doesn't really get into the subject.
There were no good fucking documentary ones last year. I think the best one was like Enemy at the Gate, and that was just because of how fucking weird it was.
Documentary short is always the weakest of the short subjects.
Good with like this one.
Percent live action.
And I walked out of what the fuck was that one bitch's name who Nixon hated? I can't remember her fucking name.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're making a documentary and you find a subject that's like really interesting, you're gonna try and make a full feature out of it anyway. So like the shorts category is almost like doomed to fail.
True.
Watching the ABCs of book banning was infuriating because I agree with the message, but like all it did was just walk around in circles saying book banning bad, and then it just ended.
Yeah.
Like all it did was like they interviewed some kids in Florida schools, and they also interviewed some authors of the books that were banned, and there were some animation segments in there, but it did nothing with the subject matter at all.
Yeah.
It actually pissed me off.
It's always kind of interesting seeing like someone who goes through the effort of making an actual documentary, but then just like doesn't even bother being close to thorough about the subject matter. It's like it's all right there. Like it's not like that fucking that hockey riot documentary I watched. It's like you just why were you not even like why did you?
Was there any good documentary short this year?
Actually,
I can't think of one at the moment.
The Disney one was actually surprisingly not bad. It was called The Last Repair Shop. That one's free on YouTube, weirdly enough, but it's also on Disney Plus. That one was actually all right, and that was the best one.
Okay.
The rest of them were just kind of, in my opinion. But there's clearly a worse one, which is the ABCs of book banning, which is just like it's a short that has a good message, but it doesn't do anything with the message, and it just walks around in circles. And also, it's edited on fucking iMovie.
That's annoying because book banning is like a really frustrating subject. Mm-hmm. Like it's sad to hear like that it's so shallow, right?
It sounds like you guys are describing the video essay space.
Sorry.
Yeah.
A lot of video essays are, yeah.
Well, even like video essays can sometimes have nuance, right?
I've seen good video essays.
I've seen good documentaries too. I'm just saying that it's
just because everyone else is here. I think I'm gonna show. I was showing Adam this card, which was drawn in 1997, and it looks like the guy on it is dabbing. I was showing Adam it at the start, but since everyone else is here, I'd show them it.
There was that one fucking guy. What was his name? Timmy 2 Cents or something like that, who like just kind of made a video shitting on Sue Klebold that took like a bunch of quotes out of context. Like,
no idea.
Yeah, that was like a thing I remember seeing. It was fucking
something I really don't like. I don't want to point out which video essay, but like something I don't like about video essay is that they have like some of them has like weirdly condescending tone. Like they will say things like, "Now I know what you think. You know, obviously this is wrong, right? No."
Usually the case for like those video essays where they talk about previous artists or YouTubers and what they sound like personality-wise, seem like they're kind of making fun of the person.
It's not necessarily making fun. I know they genuinely.
I know what you mean.
I like Defunct Land a lot.
Doing his
stuff
and stuff like that.
His stuff is funny, but not like condescending.
I like Adam Johnston. He makes
Oh
pretty good
shit!
video
Who's that?
Who the fuck is Adam Johnston? Sounds like a Nazi.
Who is that?
But
frick.
No, I think honestly, I think a lot of failures in the video essay space are born more from people just trying to do something that they're figuring out as they go. Like
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, like people watch other video essays and are like, "Oh yeah, every frame of painting that was cool. They retired. Okay, well I guess
anyone can do this, right?"
Yeah, and so
they
a lot
are
of what you're
retiring.
hearing,
the Illuminati / Somerton mentality.
Yeah.
Also, like, yeah, like Adam, like your discussion with Destiny, like there is like an air of authority to the video essay sometimes, like. They kind of deliver it's like an objective fact whereas I think the best kind of video essay where like, hey dude, this is my opinion, and then like just start a discussion. That's what I really like.
Good.
I think it has almost like more to do with how people interpret it rather than the content itself. Because I think people are just so media illiterate that they don't understand that just because something has like a very, like fancy or professional looking editing or, like the calm voice, that doesn't mean that the information that they're giving is necessarily accurate or well thought out or well researched. I think that has more to do with just how people engage with media. I blame the audience more.
But Adam, wouldn't you say reverse logic in terms of like they are intentionally doing it to get that response from the audience?
Well, I mean, everybody's good. Like if what they see in the space is other people doing that and being successful, then they're going to imitate that, right? It's not necessarily their fault.
Was the one who popularized that idea. It's not everyone's trying to mimic the thumbnail and this sort of dumb space of information about this person or subject matter.
Thumbnail shit is so annoying.
Like I hate how it's not necessarily the creator's fault
YouTube
if they're just not
video
smart.
has like a goddamn Sunny V2 thumbnail,
or also just unpracticed. A lot of these people, like, if you give them more time,
you could just
figure it out.
Airbrush with Photoshop, because that's what it looks like for every Sunny V2 video.
I just think
those are not drawn.
A lot of this conversation is very like the documentary space has a lot of similar issues. You'll just
content is slop.
Who made that fucking documentary about
that Mr. Beast fucking video was shit.
The Room 237 documentary.
That was terrible.
Yeah, like I remember trolling Netflix one day and it was just on, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I like The Shining." And it was like, this is just not a thing. Like it's as bad as any YouTube video I've ever seen.
It's worse. It's worse than a YouTube video. The YouTube documentaries are way higher quality than Room 237.
I'll actually.
Would you say
I made one, and I think mine's better than that video.
Unironically, is a great documentary.
Thank you.
Sunny V2 ad. It's the same guy that made A Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Well, The Glitch in the Matrix just typed.
Is that the documentary where he talked to a bunch of people who feel like they're living in this sort of Matrix world, but everyone is so delusional that you might as well just call them like a bunch of case studies of people who believe in the subject matter?
I don't even remember what it was about, just that it was like still terribly produced. Yeah.
What I will say, what I will say something about the Oscar documentaries that got nominated. Unlike the shorts, all of them were good. I'd say the worst one was the Bobby Wine one was the worst one, but that was like a 6 for me.
It seems like it would be. I'm like the least excited to watch that one for sure.
But one thing I will say. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I'll raise my hand later on. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I was saying with the documentaries, one thing a through line I thought throughout the entire documentary, like nominees, they were all depressing in their own matters. So like, 20 Days of Mariupol, obviously about Russia and Ukraine, that was depressing. To Kill a Tiger was about child rape. To Kill a Tiger was about child rape in India. That was depressing as fuck. Eternal Memory was about Alzheimer. That was also incredibly depressing. Bobby Wine documentary was about fascism in Uganda, and then Four Daughters was like about Arab women, and it was also depressing, but was somehow the most optimistic one of the bunch. So it was just like, wow, they picked a fuck ton of depressing documentaries for this year.
I would have liked to have seen Kokomo City on that list, but they are racist.
I thought you were gonna say transphobic.
And
Oscar's so white.
they are racist against trans black women.
Oscar's so cis.
Every rich person's kind of is kind of
cis
yo,
is a slur.
Yo, why are they trying to stop you from seeing the movie?
They like the gays, but they don't give a shit about transphobia.
Yeah, there was
they're
like
trying to ban
unironic
they're trying
comments
to
on the Sound of
ban
Freedom
Kokomo
video,
City.
like
They banned Kokomo City from the Oscars. They're trying to.
people
They don't want
like,
you to
but
know.
the AC was broken.
They don't want you to
What are
know
they
about the
hiding?
movie.
AMC broke their own AC.
They're hiding.
Man, every movie should have like the QR barcode at the end.
Oh,
where
you know,
can
you're
scan it.
you're reminding me of something. You're reminding me.
Let's do it.
Speaking of Sound of Freedom, at my screening for Madame Web, they had a trailer from a new film from Angel Studios from the same director as.
Yeah, I'll do a
Freedom.
reaction to that later.
Oh my.
I think that happened before when I was watching Ava DuVernay's Origin, but at least that one makes sense compared to Sound of Freedom because at least Origin was saying something, even though it can be a little bit self-indulgent on what it's trying to say.
It was, yeah, that movie was like really annoying. I watched 15 minutes of it. I can't just continue. By the way, thanks for the commentary track, Adam. That's another one. Like, if doesn't have your commentary track, I wouldn't even watch 15 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like really like annoying. Is it like there's no plot? It's just like hyper propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what's the right word. It's just like, you know, it's just like, hey, this is bad, right? Look at it, this is bad, and it's like 15 minutes, the same thing. It's like, have something a little bit different, you know?
So it's like
Angel Studios making a name of themselves. I wonder if it's gonna rival Pureflix in terms of this surface level entertainment for the crowd, but while making a lot of money.
Yeah, I watched an interesting. Sorry.
Here's an interesting thing that I know how to get old people into theaters. Make any movie that's about a Christian subject like Jesus or something. Old people will show up to the theaters in droves. I witnessed this in firsthand at like several of the theaters I go to. Like one time I forget what movie it was, but there was like I think it was Triangle of Sadness. There was like, when I went to see that, there was another Christian movie that was playing right next to it, and it was just a bunch of old people lined up to see it. So if you want old people to see a movie, just make a Christian movie, or like a movie like Boys in the Boat, which is the most dad movie ever. Old people will
That's
show
so
up in
funny
droves.
because my dad went to see Boys in the Boat.
I've never heard of
he
this
was a
film.
huge fucking fan
so
of
generic.
the book.
Boys in the Boat.
It was kind of funny though.
Movie
It was
about
kind
a
of
bunch
funny
of
though
boys
because
throwing boats.
Oh, it's still out.
what happened a while ago, my dad was talking about Boys in the Boat, and he was like, I wonder if that was ever adapted into a movie. And I search, and it's like, oh, it like there's one coming out. And
I just saw a trailer
and
for
then
this.
my dad was like, oh, and then I noticed it was directed by George Clooney, who my dad hates.
Hey, you know what'd be great? If someone can trick people to see The Boy and the Heron. It's like, haha, surprise! It's actually The Boy in the Boat.
The Boy in the Boat.
The Boy in the Boat
like
with the
every
heron.
mystery movie that comes out in like specific theater chains, where it's just they have a rating, they have a runtime, and people are gonna guess the film, and when they watch it, they're like, "Oh my god, this is not what I expected. I've been duped."
That's what happened when people thought they were going to see Hereditary. And then Ari Aster tricked them into seeing Beau is Afraid.
I don't know if I don't know if I told you guys this, but like I was at the showing of a Midsummer, and then there was an old I was in Canada, and then there was like an old gentleman just like stood up halfway through the film and say like, "This is a piece of shit. I don't know why you guys are watching," and then he just left.
Oh, that's great.
Actually,
people who really
that's actually happened, which is really funny.
Did anyone watch that documentary about Andre? What's his name? Bjornsson or something like that. The most beautiful boy in the world. The dude who made that appearance in
No, but that's on my watch list, and I don't.
Bro, it's so good.
Yeah.
It was so. It's just. I don't know. It's just a very, very, very beautifully made documentary.
Yeah,
and the guy's story is so fucking tragic. It's extremely compelling.
I was gonna say earlier, I watched a I watched a video by a YouTuber named Jose about lady ballers, the Daily Wire thing.
Oh, that
and
oh yeah.
Also, I just remembered who Jose is.
Yeah, and like I don't agree
from the public.
I don't agree with everything Jose says, but it was kind of funny seeing, just putting into perspective the reminder that the Daily Wire was trying to be like a real movie studio at one point. Like they were saying like, oh, we're going to make regular non-political content and it's just going to be good and people are going to see it because people are fed up with woke shit. And so they released like, you know, Run, Hide, Fight
ripoff.
And Terror on the Prairie, which like, and just these things that like nobody was excited about, nobody talked about, people just didn't have an interest in. And now it seems like their business plan is just entirely restructured, because even though they said like, no, we're not making political content, now they're like, I guess the only way to get our audience to talk about these things is to like make explicitly political content that is not well filmed, not well written, just very obvious dangling keys content. And that now they're doing it.
What you just said is exactly what they complain about from the other side.
That's why they were pretending not to do it at the beginning.
Oh no, I'm with you. That's what's funny is like it's such a great example of horseshoe politics, where it's like they literally have just turned into, because their complaints are always, I don't want to watch, you know,
why is this so political?
Because it's so political and it's you know, you guys are shoving blah 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 down your face, and your fans don't even like your movies because they suck. They're just watching them because they're politically motivated by what they believe in, you know, that they agree with you on.
I had
everything that they're complaining about is exactly what they're doing now.
There are a lot of failed artists.
Yeah. Well, or canceled artists. Like that's the other problem.
Politically biased that everyone would say that even though it's politically biased, they actually love it, because there's this film that's recently released on Criterion called I Am Cuba, which many people say is a Marxist film, but I heard it's like a very great film from the eye.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I don't like if your movie's like good. It forgives a lot of that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
I don't care if a conservative makes a movie and it's good. Like it's who gives a shit. Like I don't have to align myself politically with what's happening in the film or the filmmakers who made it. I just want to experience something.
The problem is
it's just a lot of conservative filmmakers happen to really be obsessed with making movies about these things they're scared of.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, if they're not doing it, then you wouldn't even know they're conservative, right? So it's like it's like a bias of like what you notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's probably a bunch of like talented conservatives that just don't make explicitly conservative content.
And really,
something I've been thinking about since you saw you finished not Life is Strange, what's that movie, Sound of Freedom. Something about like Sound of Freedom I've been thinking about, I don't know if you agree with it, is like if they had some better action scenes, would it make that movie slightly better? Like,
well, it's just so like the action scene, like it would need to be shorter and less boring.
Yeah,
they would need to have some good action scenes and then also some like a character to care about.
I think boring is like the chief issue with hyper like propagandistic movies where you have that like I tried making a video about this before and I failed. I want to make another one because it's hard to put in words without sounding like Andrew Tate or not having an opinion at all. But there's a difference between Ghostbusters 2016 and Annihilation. And both movies are about basically roughly 4 women who are working in a male STEM field against the paranormal. And one of those movies fucking sucks, and one of them's awesome. Yeah, and it's not the women that made the movie good or bad.
Which one will surprise you?
And which one will fucking surprise you? But yeah, no. So it's tough to nail down like when does the Sound of Freedom turn into a version that you're like, well, that movie actually works, but then this one. And part of the argument I feel like is when a person approaches the filmmaking with like, I have these things that I want to say that I want people to congratulate me for saying, and then making the movie is a second thought.
Yeah, like Jim Caviezel is like, he's out there protecting the kids.
That's it, man.
They're trying to drain their adrenochrome.
What's funny is that I was like,
I don't think the movie itself is about adrenochrome.
No, but he's promoting the film, talking about it.
Yeah.
And he's talking about it in the context of the real life. Like he was talking about it literally in context of the real life person Tim Ballard. Like that's what he mentioned it in context with. So
what's funny is that
online to know what was it called, adrenaline or
adrenochrome?
Nonsense. Yeah, I feel like you have to be terminally online. Like some of these conservatives,
a lot of conservatives.
Hold on, are any of us not terminally online?
I'm not.
I
mean, at least I try to. Although there is drama I do pay attention to. I've always had this thought. You know how that, I think last week or maybe it was earlier this week. You went over, Adam, the fact that Biden gave the Flamin' Hot Cheeto movie a glowing endorsement had a screening. I had the idea of what if Trump did a screening of Sound of Freedom and he gave the movie a big endorsement, saying this is the best movie I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Trump literally did that. Trump, I think.
Trump, he did a screening of Sound of Freedom.
I don't think he did.
Pedophiles don't want you to see.
He probably posted about it on Truth Social.
Or what was that?
Let me look it up.
That Biden's son. What's that Hunter? What was that Hunter movie?
My Son Hunter.
Was that a Dinesh D'Souza film? Or
oh my God, he actually did a screening. I'm going to post the link in chat.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah, there was that whole My Son Hunter.
Yeah, My Son Hunter. I feel like that was another very, very solidly there is a political thing happening right now that we're talking about.
Let's get this movie out as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah, because it ages like milk. If it came out today, it would already be
who cares?
Yeah, so I just looked up the Sound of Freedom Wikipedia page, and it literally says Donald Trump hosted a special screening of the film at Trump National Golf Club Bedminster on the night of Wednesday, July 19th, 2023.
I posted an
what's funny? What's funny to me about Dinesh D'Souza is that it seems like any conservative grifter at this point can release a movie and then people just fucking spam 10 out of 10 ratings on IMDb and this is the thing you need to get behind. And even though people are referencing his movies, like 2000 Mules, they're like, did you see? It proves that the election was stolen. Even though people are referencing it and talking about it and it's a part of their cultural conversation, I don't see the ratings, but they're still very low rated, and it's kind of funny.
Well, for instance, the conservatives will also, and again, whenever I say conservatives, there's so many groups that do all of the same kind of crap.
Yes.
It's just people who are thought virused, but groups will basically grab a movie and be like, okay, that's ours now.
Yeah.
And I think a great example is Tropic Thunder. I feel like retroactively the conservatives see, this is a Daily Wire type of movie. They just don't give a fuck.
Anti-woke.
But the difference is that the movie is funny.
But and also it's every political persuasion still likes Tropic Thunder.
My dad does that with Blazing Saddles.
The type of if we were to see
to not, but
if we were to see people being oh, this movie's so canceled or whatever on Twitter, those are people that don't vote,
right?
Those are irrelevant people.
They're very
pretty much did the same thing with Tropic Thunder to Blazing Saddles, because if they didn't make Blazing Saddles a long time ago, then that would have been canceled because it was probably more racist than it was today.
Well, again, though, part of the point of both those movies is that they both have an anti-racist message, and so they're showcasing racism so that they can critique it. And then people today are out of context going, oh, they said wrong thing or they said wrong word, and so this movie must be evil. And it's
lack of understanding of satire and media literacy.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not understanding the basic foundations of satire. It's you need to have a critique on something without showing it.
Yeah. I think there's also an element. Sorry, I just want to get something out real quick.
No, that's fine.
Sorry about that. And Adam, I agree. There is an element of media literacy, but something I realized, especially growing up from a conservative background, was that there is a need to be right. Sometimes I met people who can't be critically judging on things, but when it comes to certain moral issues, their brain just doesn't allow them to critically engage with these kind of things.
But there's also cost.
Sorry?
There's also social cost as well. It's if I don't say the opinion that my group that I'm in feels about this movie or whatever, then I can get
which is
shunned,
really
outcast.
Yeah, I agree, which is really tragic because
I don't want to lose all my friends because I liked blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Cuties.
yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Your hand is up, Meat Boy. What's up?
Yeah, something I saw Four Daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really love it as much as like everyone else.
Sure.
I think something that really bugged me, and I think you mentioned it before, and we talked a little bit about music being quote unquote manipulative.
Yeah, I think I said in my
really.
review there were like a couple points where it was like a little cheese, but
I agree. I saw your review. I agree with most of it. However, you also mentioned like Abbas Kiarostami.
Abbas Kiarostami.
Yeah, Kiarostami. Yeah, like things like Close Up, like Taste of Cherry, the Coker trilogy, which I loved, where he was using fake actors to react real life, and I think that's a really good way to like engage. That's a really good way to engage, especially like acting is about empathy. I think something that's really amiss was I felt the portion of like music dictating the emotional tempo felt way more than what you think.
Okay.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of there's a lot of obvious Kiarostami clone. Like you could argue something like what's the Chloe Zhao movie that won an Oscar?
Nomadland?
Nomadland.
Yeah, I think that was the similar problem where like the intent was like way too aggressive. It doesn't allow real emotions to flow. So I was just wondering where the line.
I mean, like, it's a case by case basis. There is no line.
Okay.
To set up a line for every movie would be like a restriction on how people can make art, and I don't think that there's like a blanket rule that exists for every film. It's a combination of the context in which the score is being used, and also just the composition of the score itself. Like you could have the exact same amount of music in that film playing for the exact same amount of time, and if the music was just better composed and didn't sound so cheesy, then it wouldn't feel nearly as manipulative. You can have music that's way more subtle or it doesn't even necessarily have to be subtle, but it can be a bit more like interpretable in tone. And
I think another big part of the music
that helps.
I think another big part of the music there too is like, is the scene doing the heavy lifting or is the music doing all the lifting?
Yeah, is it like complementary or like contradictory?
Yeah, right. Because some movies, I can think of some scenes, I'm like, that's a really emotional, impactful scene that also has very, loud and charging music. And then also scenes that are like No Country for Old Men has plenty of emotional scenes with barely any music at all.
Yeah.
But if I feel like the movie is showing me something that I'm like, the scene is not compelling, but goddamn, that music insists that what's happening is very special or important or something.
I agree with you.
Unearned.
Yeah, the other thing, like, I agree with you, Adam. You're right. Whereas, like, where the line is drawn, I don't think there should be like an objective line. It's just like, okay, you gotta have 50% of music here, blah 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 blah. That's defeat the whole purpose. I agree. What I like, just to clarify a question, is like for you personally. For you,
I mean, no, I can't say anything more than what I just said because that is what I personally feel.
Okay. All right. No, that's not a problem. The other thing, just one last thing about Four Daughters.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. I love the ending. I felt like the ending was like the most emotional thing about it. Did you feel like at certain point, like the plot was like become kind of repetitive? Because I really loved the first 30 minutes. Like
it's not like a fucking super fast-paced condensed movie. It is like a slow burn and kind of more like a character piece than it is like a narrative.
And like speaking of kind of slower, longer movies, I saw Killers of the Flower Moon recently. What did everyone here think of that?
I liked it.
Killers of the Flower Moon. It was kind of boring. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Scorsese's best.
I am not gonna like it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, man, I am tired
I'm so
of
bad
colored
with
people struggle
slow-paced
movies.
I didn't even like Zone of Interest.
Personal thing.
You're tired of it?
Yeah,
I'm
I
fucking
saw
tired of it, man.
Yeah, I saw James Trafilla. He didn't really like Zone of Interest that much, which I can understand.
Oh, really?
I love
loved
Zone of
it.
Interest. I saw it twice actually. Zone of Interest was fucking awesome in my opinion. But
I
maybe
mean,
it's just
I
a
loved
June
it.
thing.
I mean, me too. I really loved it, but I can see how, like, for some people, it's not their cup of tea. It is.
Yeah, that's the thing I got out of it. It's not a movie for everyone, especially like I just kept thinking like if I showed this to my parents, they would just be bored to tears watching it. But it's for someone who like really appreciates like filmmaking aspects. I thought it was fucking amazing, but maybe that's a me thing.
Without spoilers, what do you guys think is like the most compelling aspect?
I need a plot to be
of Zone of
invested
Freedom,
in, and I
so you
just
haven't
don't
seen
care
it
about anything
Zone of
going on in
Interest, I
that
haven't seen
movie.
it.
Okay, so the
Zone of
hook
Interest,
to the movie is that it's not about necessarily what it's showing, but how it's showing it, and the way you engage with the movie and think about what they choose to show and not show. So I can't really say that there's a most compelling aspect to the plot because it's all about really presentation, and there is a plot, but it's more about you engaging with the film and the subject matter than it is about like an actual traditional narrative.
Well, I didn't mean the plot. I just meant the film. So like that, what you said is that's
like it's
hook.
super.
Like, that gets me.
Super well shot and super well realized.
It's a very non-traditional type of filmmaking compared to this type of subject matter.
Well, and I like that.
Maybe I just value
it's filmmaking.
So like it's a Holocaust movie, but it's more like an anti-Holocaust movie.
Has there ever been a pro-Holocaust movie?
No, as in an anti-Holocaust movie. As in it specifically avoids the
being Schindler's
normal
List.
tropes. Yeah, it specifically avoids being other Holocaust movies.
I got what it was going for, like
very good.
The whole like mundanity mixed with like these
banality
horrors.
Yeah, the banality.
And I get the theme of the film, but it's still like that can't keep me invested for the whole movie.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you're appreciating about the film, because even throughout the entire thing, you know, incredible cinematography, incredible performances.
What's crazy for me was the fact that the first time I saw Zone of Interest, I admittedly like there were points where I was struggling to stay awake, even though I really liked it. The second time I saw Zone of Interest, it just flew by for me. In all honesty, it just wow, that went by fast.
Yeah,
if you're expecting something different out of it, it could be slower.
But I think on second watch, I'll probably like it more, knowing what's going for.
I think I just like put technical stuff like that and like narrative, like kind of.
Actually, I got a question for you guys.
In my brain, and it's
has anyone seen Skinamarink?
Oh, I have.
Yes,
I have.
I did.
I have.
Does this not engender a similar conversation? You know, of like the movie that
Zone
is
of Interest was much better,
and it's. Well, I don't necessarily even mean just on like, you know, if you gave them, you know, letter grades, but just this concept of like how the film is presenting what it's presenting to you is the majority of what it's trying to do more so than like hooking you with a plot.
I
think it's called avant-garde, and I'm pretty sure these two are pretty much in.
Avant-garde is a really big umbrella.
Yeah, so. I really
like the idea of like you take something that's more of a presentation rather than taking a narrative approach, which these two are trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
because for me with Skinamarink, like I also struggle with movies that are not plot driven and are something else driven. Having said that, I found it as a really, really cool, because I'm trying to write a horror folk like web series, and I found it really cool for trying to just, you know, steal ideas from. It was this is like, oh, these are really inspiring ways to think about suburban horror and trying to make places that we all live
minimalist.
Creepy. Because Gothic horror owns everything right now, so it's always huge wooden houses that are like, you know, dark, that, you know, cost $1 million.
I started Skinamarink, but didn't get far.
I saw it in a theater, so like, I'm go ahead.
I'm like, oh, it's one of these.
I had to watch a couple of videos talking about it.
I am not in the mood.
Once I had a little bit of a baseline, it was easier to interact
Maybe
with.
later.
I started with Heck. Heck is only like a half an hour or something like that.
I remember one person in my Skinamarink screen fell fucking
appreciation with
asleep.
analog horror, even though it's much more different than, like, say,
that's funny.
when Blumhouse does a lot of supernatural horror films that require a lot of jump scares, because this one definitely takes a different approach of jump scares, even though I can understand that would be one for some people.
What's funny is
but
that
it's like boom type loud type of jump scares. It's more subtle, even though that can also be annoying for some people.
Well, I think The Witch has this thing. I have a lot of friends. That's a lie. I don't have a lot of friends.
Vivitch?
But, out of my friends, the Vivitch people, we go drastically on how we appreciate that film, and I think a lot of it for them was that the people who have troubles with it say that they do enjoy that the movie focuses more on developing dread than having a bunch of jump scares, but they also think that the dread will wear off when you go too long between having something intense happen. So it's like, I'm stressed out. And after a while, you're like, I'm starting to think nothing is going to happen. Maybe I'm fine. And then finally something else happens. And I think Skinamarink is trying to do like, what if we had almost no jump scares and nothing like really super instantly compelling, but the whole thing is just making you feel like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't feel comfortable with what's happening right now.
I'm going to be
producing. So you're saying it's like a weird psychological case. We're just seeing what will happen if a person were to sit through a movie that has nothing going on, but they will eventually get some sort of dread to themselves.
I think it's coming from a perspective of someone who's like sick of Blumhouse movies and trying to think of like, how can we pull off not doing the tropes that those guys have.
Funny thing. So, well, two things. Funny thing is that when I saw Madame Web, they played a trailer for Imaginary, and I mentioned earlier in this picture and Hangout how there was a bunch of like girls or like around my age, I think, that were just really into Madame Web. When they played the trailer for Imaginary, that shitty horror film, they were like, "Oh my god, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen," or like, "Ew,
it's
gross."
just Megan again.
Like,
did I react to a trailer for that? I think I did, right?
I think
no, you didn't. Wait, did you? I don't think you did.
Did it like during the stream or something? Why do I feel like I saw you?
I remember you watching If.
Yeah, Imaginary. Oh, probably.
Is that an imaginary fanboy documentary?
I think I saw the trailer before another movie and then talked about how I saw the trailer in a theater, maybe during one of these hangouts or something. I think I maybe started a stream saying that the trailer looked bad.
I'm wondering if we're going to be like in the era of like Creepy Doll.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is already working on a sequel.
Mithrigan was
just literally looks like this looks like
Mithrigan also.
Annabelle, so we're already seeing a lot of like Hollywood trying to copy on the idea of, oh, we could take something so innocent and turn into something scary. Like, what's another horror film that's based off an object? But
okay, I don't think I have seen this trailer. I'll add that to my list.
Did you say a horror movie based on an object? That's so many.
There's like so many horror movies based on objects. Like Ouija's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a million of them. It's like half of horror movies are just haunted object. I mean, even the fucking Exorcist is a haunted object movie.
If we're talking about horror movies, what about horror games and like the trend of like Five Nights at Freddy's helped kickstart the trend of like things that's usually meant for kids, but it's so scary. Ooh.
I disagree.
Horror.
I think it's been going on forever.
Everything that's in public
Five Nights at Freddy's really popular
because haunted dolls used to ride around like black and white days.
Five Nights at Freddy's was scary.
Garden of Ban exists now. We've gone too far.
Jack, your hand is up. What's up?
I was gonna ask, like, I'm thinking of seeing Madame Web later.
Do it.
Good
it's great.
Me and Adam are the only ones who saw it. It's so. Oh, did you see it, Meat Boy?
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't. I left like an hour.
Okay, well, don't listen to Meat Boy.
I'm just watching it.
No!
No, it's great.
No!
Wait, does anyone know when it's going on?
Adam's censoring me. Adam's censoring me.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to prevent the truth from coming out.
I just want to go.
No, Adam.
Sound of Freedom all over again.
Release the Meat Boy cut.
Release the Meat Boy cut.
This is 1994.
My cuts will have a QR code. Where like 4 times.
Madame Web's dope, is what I'm trying to say. It's very funny.
Dope.
I would see it. I would see it again in a theater.
I'm planning on making a video on it, so I'm waiting until it comes out on streaming. Because otherwise,
it might be out on digital in like a month.
That was my feeling. That's this type of movie. I feel like it's not too long.
Last week's Valentine's Day, I made the right move of just watching something else instead of watching this piece of crap.
Sorry,
it's all good.
Yeah.
You had your hand up earlier too. I don't know if you wanted to say something. Monk Hood Psychosis.
They made a good movie before. It's called Spider-Verse, but that was a different property.
Okay, all right. I take it back. Aside from Spider-Verse, I take it back.
Yeah, the cinematography was like giving me a headache.
But like, God, it seems like they're taking like slam dunks and just. It almost feels purposeful. It's like if I like okay, for instance, Disney, can't let Brie Larson go, and they know that people just don't like looking at her face, and I feel like choosing to pick up Dakota Johnson. It's like you just like how Kristen Stewart maybe is the only person who has like a more disliked fucking public persona.
Yeah. I don't know. I find it kind of funny that they're like pretending kind of to do like a girl boss movie, but like every actor in Madam Web is cast for their looks only.
And I feel like Sweeney is just in
the
because
actors
she is
don't look
so bad for Sydney Sweeney, who after Euphoria is getting like a lot of big roles. Meanwhile, another person who's also blonde, Hunter Schafer, is doing a more artistic approach of his casting choices. And I'm so it's kind of funny to think that she's doing great things while she's doing the more conventional things.
Wait, is it just me or like the actors in like Madam Web looks like they don't want to be there? They look very unenthused when they.
You know they're not all comic book fans. You know Sydney Sweeney wasn't like, I just fucking love the Madam Web arc in XYZ comic run, and I was drawn to the
everybody
because I'm such a fan.
I took it on. I feel like I was part of the
There were no good performances in Madame Web. There were like literally everybody was kind of like taking the piss
at all. It was very
funny. There was.
Oh my god!
I love that there was no. He was with my mom.
No, that wasn't in
the
there.
Amazon line.
Oh my god! They have like a Pepsi ad. They have a Pepsi ad and a barbecue. They were showing the Pepsi can.
Does anybody say
there's even more Pepsi later? If you would have stayed the whole movie, you would have seen more Pepsi.
Pepsi kills the fucking bad guy in the film. Pepsi literally kills the fucking bad guy in the film.
Am I right?
Because there's nothing happening.
Spoilers?
No spoilers.
Are you spoiling shit?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I wanted to Adam, talk
just one question about Madam Web. Just one quick question about Madam Web.
All right, quickly.
Does Pepsi Man show up at the end towards the end of the movie?
I'm not saying.
That's the Pepsi.
Oh. All right, Broccoli, what's your question?
Yeah, I've just been noticing like a trend with a lot of superhero movies with actors where when it first started out, a lot of them were really excited to, like Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man, but now a lot of them are just kind of faking the performances, not really being interested in it. But, they get a nice paycheck, and hopefully that kind of goes towards like passion projects. Like Barry Jenkins is doing like The Lion King 2, and hopefully we'll do something bigger after that. But I've just kind of noticed that as of late.
Yeah,
it's
a paycheck.
Even the people who are playing superheroes are trying to diverge themselves from the character, because most people can't see them as actors, but they see them as the characters from the superhero genre.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that Dakota Johnson is forever known as Madam Web.
They also know her as Anastasia Steele, so everyone has not forgotten about that.
Well, to be fair,
but that's not a superhero movie.
I think the best movie that she's in is probably Suspiria, and even in that movie, she just doesn't make it worse. But if you
she was good in it.
Yeah,
like there was no, I don't think there were any bad performances in that movie. So
no, that's my point. Like I just think she's the one you could, because Tilda Swinton I think is like pivotal to the movie. But if you swapped out Dakota Johnson for 5 other girls, even within that movie, if Mia Goth played her role, it would have been fine. If Chloe Grace Moretz played that role, it would have been fine.
I wouldn't.
She didn't ruin the Social Network in the 30 seconds she was in. Like she's got.
I heard something about Sunny V2. What about them or him?
He was mentioned a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
He just makes slop.
Yeah.
As evidenced by the fucking Mr.
Who watched the
Beast
H Bomber Guy
trans
video?
Yeah, I'll
which was
admit the
clearly
same
like
thing.
rushed out and was just like really shitty and exploitative.
Didn't H Bomber Guy talk about Sunny V2?
No, he was talking about Internet Story, and that's who he was talking about.
I think he brought up.
Well, he brought up like
Sunny
4
V2
people, but
and his ilk in the video.
Yeah, I thought he brought it up for a second just to talk about how like basically it's people who are kind of making video essays by just going to a wiki article and just being like, I'm just going to read the wiki article and put some.
You're talking about Illuminati. That's the person you're referring to about like.
That's the focal point.
Just...
But I thought he kind of shotgun hit a couple of like compatriots in the.
Was that the case with Shane?
Yeah,
Dawson,
but not
Sunny
V2 wasn't one of them.
Do anything like
he
the
wasn't.
Time
Okay,
the Chuck E. Cheese thing, but it's only he did the first thing, but never did the whole thing to investigate the whole case.
Well, the other thing is Shane Dawson's going for a different kind of angle where he's not necessarily trying to go for like educational. He's trying to go for
conspiracy videos for babies.
He is a 9/11
basically
truther.
Pure,
my jaw dropped when I found out about that because it was like, how did I not know this?
When you found out about
what?
when I found out about Shane Dawson being a 9/11 truther. I was like, how has no one talked about this?
Because he's losing. He has the feelings of a OG YouTuber who is grasping for relevancy, and things have changed, and so he's kind of like Grandpa trying to hold on. And I think that the best way to do that is to not try so hard. I think the people who have had staying power, who were around since OG YouTube, most of them are people who.
Yeah, but then they buy really
Adam, are you OG?
I'm almost OG.
Yeah, you're probably
I've been creating content since the same time as them, but just not successfully.
Yeah, me too. right.
He didn't start too soon as YouTube started.
Yeah.
Adam secretly built YouTube. You guys didn't know that?
Did you see the giraffe footage at the?
And Shane Dawson's a fucking creep who's somehow allowed to have adopted children. So.
And cats.
The other trouble, though, man, it's so hard with people who are especially that's the other thing is I wouldn't say Adam is necessarily an influencer, right? So when you work into the influencer space where you're trying to sell your personality, it's so hard with so and so's a creep, because it's are they, or are they just professionally I have to always seem like I have the hottest take so that I'm staying culturally relevant,
Yeah.
Because no one likes a centrist. It just gets so boring when that was who I forget. There was another. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
The ultimate centrist.
Right.
Too.
It's just so boring. It's hey guys, I really want to talk about this Jack's Film versus Sniper Wolf thing. I think everyone needs to calm down. I think, no one wants to hear that.
Shane Dawson is fucking Shane Dawson could release 0 videos for the rest of his life and still be making more money per month than me.
Justice.
I'm just looking at they all have fucking 30 million views.
I was like 30,000. Oh no.
I think Sniper Wolf should
about this year they're still going on?
No. I think Sniper Wolf should honestly be in jail still.
Yeah. The other good thing about making children's content is there's always new children. And we see this with films, right? I mean, that's why they're making all the remakes of all the Disney movies, is because it's well, yeah, you grew up with Lion King, but 10-year-olds didn't. So here's another one. And so
it's why Disney Animation and Pixar Animation are just doing sequels for the next couple of years. Maybe except for LEL, but literally every movie that's coming out aside from one is a sequel. It's like Toy Story 5, Zootopia 2, Moana 2, right. A bunch of shit. So it's they're just making sequels because
is going to be
as long as Zootopia 2 isn't the TV series, then
Zootopia 2 will be an adaptation of the abortion comic. That's what we need to do.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I hate that comic so much.
What?
What? If Zootopia 2 tries to do the whole Disney gay angle like they always do, when they always add it to American, but for Chinese audiences they always remove it.
No one's doing a fucking gay Zootopia unless it's just 2 characters that are gay coded in the background.
That's, I think, what he was saying.
Okay, yeah. It's never gonna get explicit.
Sneaky gay code.
Yeah. BC467, your hand is up. What's up?
All right, I'm gonna turn my camera around because I have something to show you for a second.
Please.
You notice the shirt?
Hell yeah! Did you get it for the show?
Yeah,
shirt.
Hundreds of Beavers. I saw it. It's from Hundreds of Beavers. I got the shirt at the screening that I was at. I also got a signature of the Blu-ray for Michigan Must from the director and the actor, so that was cool. You can see
unfortunately, I didn't get my shirt at the showing, but I did order it.
Dope. Yeah, they keep adding a bunch of new dates, so I guess they're doing pretty well. Was the show where the show's
Hundreds of Beavers is
how much
one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Did the show sell pretty well? Was there a good crowd, or
it was packed?
Nice.
It was a full theater.
Good.
Mine wasn't completely packed, but it was also, what's funny is that I went to it was an old people theater. In fact, before the movie began, after the trailers, they did an old person came in to be like, hey, we're doing these screenings coming up, and then the movie, and then the director came on. What's funny is that during the trailers, I don't know if you got this during your screening, Olivia, but at my screening, the people in the Bieber costumes were just messing around with the audience as the trailers were going on and fake crying as to some of the trailers, and it was the funniest thing in the world.
They did did that at mine. I have recordings.
I did.
They also what's it? They did the Q&A at the end.
I had the same thing. They had a Q&A, and my favorite question was somebody asked, like, "Hey, what video games were that inspired you to make the film?" And the director
Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy 2. It was the funniest thing ever.
That's funny.
It was.
I love the log line.
My Mario game is Galaxy.
Yeah, but Hundreds of Beavers was fucking awesome. Also, my favorite thing about the screening I was at was the fact that during like the opening credits, the guy literally, the main actor came on set and is like, "Hey, the movie's about to begin," and it was like the funniest thing ever. He had a great energy throughout the entire thing. And when I met them after the screening, it was really nice. They were really nice throughout the thing.
So
there was an unfortunate. Oh,
sorry, go for it. Go for it.
I guess I was gonna say. Unfortunately, both my brother and my friend who I was going to take to see them, they both got sick before the movie began.
Oh.
But however, my mom agreed last minute to see the film with me, and she surprisingly enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
So that was nice. Although I wasn't allowed to get refunds for the tickets I bought already, but it wasn't a bad thing.
Losing it over Hundreds of Beavers.
So they're doing I've got their dates open on their website, and what's funny, so I hear that they're doing that thing where they're like, live showing up at the theater, but then I see there's like fucking 6 different showings on February 23rd. I'm like, which one are they gonna? There's like different cities. They can't be everywhere at once. So I wonder which city they're doing it.
But some cities they're doing it, but they're not doing it for every city.
Yeah.
I think
they should say which ones they're going to be at.
But I luckily was able to find one that was near
like
the place I was, and it was a fucking awesome experience, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing well enough that they're adding new dates, and
I heard it's getting a digital release next week. That's
somebody said that, but like I would wait until it's official, because as a small production, I think they're like kind of gauging when they want to do a digital release as they're going. Like they're like very indie, right? So if they've got a bunch of theatrical shows coming up still, I think they're probably going to wait until they're done their run.
They're probably probably in April, and then I would imagine with digital releases happening.
That's
but I'm definitely I'm gonna, and they're also doing a Blu-ray in the summer, so I'm gonna buy both digital and Blu-ray, because I'm like, this movie deserves my money. It fucking does. I really do think it's gonna do something. I'm gonna get the Blu-ray as soon as it gets on pre-order.
Hundreds of Beavers gets a Blu-ray, and not All of Us Strangers. That does not get a Blu-ray.
And goes on Criterion.
Yeah, All of Us Strangers didn't get a physical release at all, apparently.
No, and it never will.
And
no Poor Things Blu-ray, right?
No, we get Poor Things Blu-ray, just not a 4K.
I meant 4K.
Criterion is doing a Razzie subplot where they have all the Razzie nominated or winning movies into the Criterion channel.
Yeah, it's like
physical.
I heard Anatomy of a Fall is going to have a Criterion.
Yeah, the Anatomy of a Fall is coming out in May.
But not a 4K.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
The Shining was nominated for multiple Razzies.
ABC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was very stupid.
People have strong opinions on Shelley Duvall.
Monkhood Psychosis, I'm gonna... What were you trying to say? And also your hand is up anyway, so...
I'm sorry. I was gonna ask, is there a Blu-ray for Hoodwinked, first of all?
For me, if you're asking me, there's one in France that's still available, but that's region free, thankfully. There used to be a Blu-ray, but it's out of print. It's unfortunately.
I think they had an HD DVD.
That's bullshit.
Meanwhile, Hoodwinked 2 is available to get on Blu-ray easily, and that's fucking bullshit as well.
Are y'all talking about the Hoodwinked, like the Hoodwinked?
Yeah, because it used to be a meme until I changed it to this Rayman thing, and now it used to be my profile picture was Kirk from Hoodwinked, but now I changed it to this
I remember that.
So.
I love Hoodwinked.
Also,
Everybody loves it.
I don't love it.
I love it.
It's a masterpiece.
What is that?
So I love it.
That is some outfits. I was drawing some fan art of Olivia.
Oh,
nice.
You made me an Evanescence fan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Andrew Scott's really growing on me, man.
Not that I dislike them. I just don't actively listen to them.
Yeah, emo Olivia. I drew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I listened to that album a bunch.
Yeah, I actually love that album. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite albums, actually. No,
that first one.
I really love that album.
Or whatever. I think
Fallen from the album.
Pro ZD's cover is the best.
Oh, Goofy.
What band is this?
Evanescence, yeah.
Her take on Sally's song is cool. I objectively like that.
Can't wake up.
Or unironically like that.
Wake up, Max.
Wake up, man.
That one's tough because from what I'm told, like the band didn't want to have that dude in that song anyway. And
really?
It was like a production thing. And they were like, yeah, like new metal's big and you really should have like a male vocalist and stuff. And I couldn't imagine having that kind of like forced upon you and then being like, that's our most famous song. Is like,
yeah, fuck it. Whatever. They were right.
Yeah, right. As far as as far as like the production-y ideas.
I can see Under This Rock. That's not good.
Oh.
What game are you playing?
No, never mind.
Pal World.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Has anyone played Helldivers 2?
BC 467. What is your hand is up? Also, Monkshood Psychosis. Should I think I can lower your hand on my end.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I did it. That's fine. BC 467.
All right. I guess I have one more thing, then I'll lower my hand down. I guess I also saw All of Us Strangers. I thought it was good. I didn't love it as much as everyone else did, but I still thought it was a really solid movie. What did you think about it?
I thought it was great. It flew by for me, honestly. I think Andrew Haigh is probably the best person making what could be considered to be like gay romance type movies, and I like that there was like an extra layer to it. I like that it had a lot to do with, like repression and trauma and like acceptance and
did it feel personal to you, Adam, or something?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but I thought that it worked like really well, all things considered anyway.
Yeah, I maybe
watch the HBO series from that director.
Sorry,
what?
The HBO series from that same
yeah
director,
I wasn't into it.
Quitting. Oh,
my parents canceled a bunch of subscriptions recently, and I thought about resubscribing to Max, but then the Coyote versus Acme stuff happened, so I'm like, no, I'll wait till when the Sympathizer comes out or something.
Yeah, I hope that makes like that makes like some kind of a legal precedent, because now there's lawmakers talking about it.
Yeah,
like we really should prevent that kind of thing from happening because it is anti-competitive.
Yeah. I was tempted to cancel my Max too, but that'd be bad.
This CEO has really fucked it up. Like people were talking about how great Max was like only like 2 years ago, and now people are like,
yeah,
I know you still.
Yeah, there's a video of like there was a Boston University graduation where David South of all people would stand to make a speech, and everyone was kind of booing to him when he first appeared.
I would boo the shit out of this guy.
Fucking
yeah,
trash.
like last year at the Boston University.
He deserves to be bullied.
Yes.
By Tom Cruise.
Weinstein should rot in jail.
He deserves to go to gay baby jail.
He's like, it's like unbelievable how like fucking scum he is.
Yeah, he doesn't care, and then he'll just be like, "I didn't actually even watch the movie," and it's like, "Well, why are you in control of a movie company then, if you don't care about movies at all? Like you might he would be." Just like he easily could have just been a CEO of a completely different company.
Comedy movie, and yet at the same time, FBI is already investigating about this action, and now he's probably going to go to court for it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, meta.
I don't think the FBI is investigating.
True.
I think that he's. I don't know if the FBI is involved, but
it's such a rampant thing though in Hollywood. Period.
I mean, if the
like
FBI
all
can
the top
get
people don't give a
involved
shit
for
about
investigating the Rockstar leak.
I just want to see that movie being leaked soon onto like X. The same thing what happened with that SpongeBob movie.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, an entire movie that wasn't released.
Oh yeah.
I just want to see someone heroic enough just to release that on X, just so we could say we have saved Coyote versus Acme. The same thing that someone thought it was a good idea just to release the whole entire SpongeBob movie, just because I don't know, the same reason some guy thought it was a good idea just to release the GTA 6 trailer.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder if they took precautions.
The GTA 6 trailer, I think, was like the kid of like a dev. Was that true?
And isn't he going to like prison or
something
something like that? I heard
that's a different
prison
leaker.
for like life, or he got fined millions of dollars.
Yeah, people are saying like, "Oh, Rockstar got this kid sentenced to life in prison for a leak," and then it's like, "Oh, this person is actually criminally insane."
Yeah, that the person that like did the actual hacking leak of all like those documents, and I'm pretty sure that they were like a notorious one that continuously did it despite warnings and just keep saying like, oh yeah, as soon as I get out, I'm gonna hack again. And it's like, oh well, you know.
And now he works for the FBI.
I could have sworn I don't know if this happened last year or not, but wasn't it like some kid? Wasn't it like some kid leaked a bunch of FBI documents on like a Minecraft server or something? I could be wrong about that.
Oh
yeah, it was on Discord.
It was
or
a
something.
Discord server, and it was, I think, schematics for World of Tanks.
Yeah, it was like World of Tanks. That's what it was.
Where it's like they sent us a fucking classified schematic.
Nico, what's up?
Brilliant.
I wanted to ask if you plan on going to Fantastic Fest later this year.
I have yet to do that, and I don't have plans to do that this year, but I am going to check out to South by Southwest for the first time.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask too, since you were also going there.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some new stuff each year just to try and, but I don't think I'll have time to fit in Fantastic Fest, and also it seems to be taking place like right around TIFF anyway, so.
Oh yeah.
There's already TIFF and VIFF in September. So
also, I wanted to ask, what's the difference between the slow cinema that you absorb from filmmakers like Neri Bilge Ceylan and I was curious, tell me, in the films of Ryusuke Hagamushi, he's the same director as Drive My Car and Evil Does Not Exist.
I mean, the difference is I feel like the fucking I watched what was his name? Yeah, About Dry Grasses. There's nothing about that where I look at it and go like, oh yeah, you could cut out a bunch of that film. Like, there's a purpose towards its slowness and its pacing, and there's so much more to absorb out of the scenery, out of the sound design, out of the performances. Like, everything is just so fucking top notch that there is leeway to be able to let things linger, because by lingering more on a scene or a subject, I'm able to absorb and pay attention to more of that subject. Whereas Ryusuke Hamaguchi isn't even doing necessarily long shots. They're not doing like meticulous shots like Nuri Bilge Ceylan. They're not doing anything incredible with the sound design. They're just making a well-made movie with like a fucking 90-minute story that they decided to tell in 3.5 hours. And so I like just because the movie's long and it's not terribly made, I don't think they're in the same category at all, in my opinion, is from my experience.
I mean, Evil Does Not Exist was not 3.5 hours. It was under 2.
Yeah, that was still a very boring movie.
What about
I thought for sure that it being under 2 hours, I would have enjoyed it, because that was the one thing I was thinking about with Drive My Car, was like, oh man, if it was just like a tighter movie. But then Evil Did Not Exist. He decided to be just as time wasting, and he kept it under 2 hours. But it really just he could have been told in like 20 minutes.
If Killers of the Flower Moon was a tighter movie, do you think you might have enjoyed it more? Because
1000%, I would have enjoyed it more.
I was kind of thinking it might have worked better as like a mini-series where like you could kind of flesh out the story and characters.
I would have liked a mini-series.
I would have liked it better as a mini
one where I liked it a lot, but the pacing was so shit.
I would have liked it better as a mini-series if it was conscious about doing like a mini-series formula, as in if there was something really enticing or great at the end of episode 1, then that could have helped. But it's weird that I watched through Killers of the Flower Moon and not a single great scene, in my opinion. Like there was not a great scene until after the 90-minute mark, right? So like if I were to watch like an episode 1 and it was like 45 minutes, and an episode 2 and it was 45 minutes, and there wasn't even a great scene until episode 3, like I don't know if that would have solved the problem.
You'd have to restructure the film
you have to find a way to end at a certain point and transition to the next episode.
they would have to add to it. They would have to do it in a mini series type fashion. Killers of the Flower Moon, and it's just
when Jesse Plemons showed up, I thought it was it got a little bit more enticing.
Yeah, some people really loved it, but damn, there was a lot about it that was just holding it back for me. I think a lot of sound design issues. I didn't like the score also.
The score felt over-present in my opinion.
Yeah, and just like sometimes contradictory. Like there was this weirdly goofy tone that the film couldn't escape at points. It was just odd.
I believe it's also the last score to be working with Martin Scorsese because he recently passed away. So it's probably the last one we're going to see from this collaboration.
Well, maybe the next one will be better.
Martin Scorsese passed away.
No.
No.
Oh, the score.
No, one of his
composer,
composers did.
I was about to say, I should fucking know about that. What?
Robbie Flower, I think that was his name.
Fucking
Navalny
Navalny died.
So sad.
Navalny died
Obviously
today.
of natural circumstances.
I heard that wrong. I'm sorry.
Robbie Robertson is the composer's name. Yeah, he passed away August last year.
Oh shit! And he's nominated, so they might just.
Yeah,
they better not.
Oppenheimer's gonna win score. I feel because it's the most score.
It is the most score. I hope Poor Things gets it.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? It's like
Poor Things had a more memorable score than Oppenheimer.
Poor Things has the most memorable score in the past like fucking 5 years at least.
It's also the most experimental in terms of composition.
I will admit though, I have just sat and listened to the Oppenheimer score.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Maestro wins everything.
Maestro Sweep would be sad.
Would not be surprised either.
Yeah. That holy shit. That was
the death of any credibility.
It's the kind of movie that makes the Oscars feel like we have good taste. Like we're smart. We didn't just.
It's embarrassing that it got nominated for like anything really.
Yeah.
Like what deserving nomination does it have?
I got a question
like
too.
Carey Mulligan. That's it.
That Bradley Cooper had nothing to do with.
Sorry?
I feel like what's the last Oscars that Bradley Cooper had like nothing to do with? I feel like he's
last year. Well, the last
many
one he
fucking like Oscar bait things.
He didn't do anything for 2022. I couldn't remember if he had anything really.
That's fair. I'd have to look because it's hard because like I didn't know he was involved with Joker.
Like a Star
documentary stuff.
He's the jokester.
He's the producer for
Guillermo del Toro's
Nightmare Alley because he must be a producer for that one.
Also, Jimmy Kimmel's hosting the Oscars again, which I'm sure.
Very sad. I should react to they did Oscars did like a promo thing. I should react to that later.
It was like I
want to do a watch along and I should do some trailer stuff and I got to do some editing.
Right.
They did that last year.
You messaged me about that.
Vice.
At least we got a good highlight out of you. Never mind.
Good highlight out of what?
I was gonna say the highlight where you reacted to Biden's endorsement of the Hot Cheeto film. That was a funny thing. It's basically my fault you even knew about that film to begin with, because I remember during one of these. Because I remember during one of these hangouts.
What happened?
Okay, so one of these hangouts, we were talking about like corporate biopics. They briefly mentioned the Flamin' Hot Cheeto movie, and then Adam had a lost faith in humanity moment when he found out about its existence. And then I think months later it got nominated for an Oscar, so we did a watch along. The entire film.
I don't think the highlight of that is out yet.
It's not out yet.
I did want to mention that.
I'll get it out soon. I swear.
I can't believe I watched that film.
When's the
I can't believe I did.
For your consideration.
Yeah, Flamin' Hot was trash. I had to watch through the whole thing for the edit.
Yeah,
I fucking hated it. It was such fucking garbage.
Vice.
I'm in the same.
Vice's hand has been up for a while, so we're gonna ask.
Okay, well, I was at Sundance. I kind of wanted to know what some of your thoughts on your Sundance movies that you
Sure. Your mic is very low volume. So if you can turn that up, that would be great too. But
it might be the worst Oscar-nominated movie I've ever seen.
What? Flamin' Hot?
Worse than Maestro?
Worse than Crash.
Got nominated
Flamin' Hot
some,
is
so
definitely
that
worse
count.
than Maestro.
Yeah, let's see. So I did I
Flamin'
write
Hot turd,
notes?
more like.
I wrote notes somewhere. I'm just gonna go over my ratings that I did
That's
at Sundance.
my,
So I wasn't able to watch everything I wanted. I got too fucking busy because I was doing it long distance anyway. But I really liked Black Box Diaries. That was definitely the standout. And yeah, the rest of them were very underwhelming. Realm of Satan was like a gigantic piece of shit.
I'm glad I didn't watch that.
Yeah. Brief History of a Family was like, we have Korean cinema at home, and it was like very clearly trying to like emulate Korean cinema, but it was just.
I was thinking it was that one you recommended last year, something about a family, like All in the Family or something.
Oh, like A Very Normal Family or something.
Yeah, that one. At first, when I was
yeah, different movie.
Yeah, and then I realized,
very weird. Yeah, that was a movie where like barely anything happened. Handling the Undead was good. It was like
I thought that was
unique...
pretty underwhelming. I didn't quite like it.
Yeah, it wasn't like amazing or anything.
Adam, are you going to see the new Jane Schoenberg movie? I saw the TV Glow at South by
Yeah,
Southwest.
I mean, I would have watched it if it was available digitally through Sundance.
I liked it.
I haven't seen her other film, but I'm really excited to see what this film when it comes out. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I'll catch it for sure. Sujo was good. I gotta like watch that a second time for sure because it didn't do. Sujo was good, but I wish it was something more. And then Daughters, that documentary was good, but I wish it was like trimmed down a bit. And then yeah, the rest of them I don't even think I finished.
What did you think of Handling the Undead? I thought that one was fine, but
yeah, it was good. It wasn't like mind blowing, but it was good.
Yeah, it was kind of.
I liked its approach.
It's kind of like one note through the entire.
Yeah, I wish it did more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they scratched the surface of what it could have been. Yeah.
Anyone seen the trailer for Drive Away Dolls?
For what?
I saw that a while ago. That was the new Ethan Coen film.
Drive Away Dolls.
That comes out next week, actually. I think
shit.
so.
Yeah.
It looked so un-Coen to me, except for it kind of feels like a throwback to like a Raising Arizona.
Although reviews started coming out, apparently people say it's actually surprisingly good, and the trailers are a bit misleading. So we'll see how that goes.
Coen, even half of the Coens, Ethan.
Which
the one who's not retired?
There's a bunch of them. Oh, okay.
Well, both of them are.
Brothers.
Well, Ethan was retired and then he came back.
Oh wait, so who made Macbeth?
Joel.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
They both retired and then individually came back.
No,
and
Joel.
made another movie.
Ethan retired.
I believe both of them.
Yeah, I don't think both of them retired.
Together.
Both of them split up from each other.
I think they just retired from each other.
And now they're going to make a horror movie together.
Oh, and speaking of...
I feel like I was lied to. They should have just not...
Well, the Safdies aren't working together.
Yeah, the Safdies are broken up.
Interesting. I feel like they could have done like 6 more movies out of that.
I mean, but they're doing their own things now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm worse.
I guess so are the Coens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I'm about to watch that. I think I might watch that Macbeth movie tonight that's made by one of the Coens.
It's so good.
I would watch it, but I don't have an Apple TV Plus subscription, and it's just like I'm so tired of these fucking subscriptions. So it's like, what's the point of having all these? The only two my parents still have are Amazon. The only reason my parents
nothing but Shakespearean dialogue, so get used to that for the entire runtime.
If you like Macbeth is already like my favorite Shakespeare, so that helps. But also the Coen brothers just fuck, and I think that it'll be really fun in the future to figure out who is responsible for the things I like from the different movies that they
Which one's a phony?
Subtitles.
Yeah. Anyone likes The Tempest from Shakespeare? Anyone?
I don't dislike it.
Isn't that the one that was in Life is Strange?
Yes, it is.
What? Wait, what?
It was in Before the Storm. It was a sequence in that game.
The part where Adam tried to blind Chloe.
Real?
Yes, that.
Wait, what? For real? No way.
For real?
It's not even that weird to me.
You guys.
No, I mean, like,
I feel like that game.
Yeah,
that's exactly the kind of thing they would do.
Sorry.
No.
I kind of thought it was a made-up play. I didn't realize it was Shakespeare.
The problem, the reason I was surprised was like The Tempest. A lot of people consider to be Shakespeare's worst thing. It's very divisive.
Oh, that's funny.
Like some people thought it was amazing. Some people thought it was really bad because just like the problem with The Tempest, at least. Yeah. Also, it's just like there's no plot.
The game depicted it anyway.
Yeah, like The Tempest. If you actually read the play, it's just like there's no plot. It's just a sequence of events, and then at the end, it's just like, haha, everyone get along. That's it. That's like the entire play of.
I hear you. Yeah.
Chad, what's your question?
We were talking about Life is Strange, and when you tried to blind Chloe.
My question is about Blade Runner and how I have been getting more and more. I've noticed more that there's the theory that I don't know if anyone cares about spoilers for a 50-year-old movie, but like people talk about the idea of is Deckard a replicant or not. And I've always known that was kind of a thrown around like fun, hey, I noticed something that's kind of cool. But I actually have strong problems with if he is a replicant. I think it fucks the themes of like both movies. And so my question is actually a bit more about, I mean, I would like to hear everyone's opinion on that, but my real question is the trouble that we live in now is that Ridley Scott himself has come out and said that, yeah, Deckard's, of course, he's a replicant.
Oh, that's
so how do you guys feel about creator intent and its weight on the art? Because most creators
like Death of an Artist, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't even like Blade Runner, if I'm being honest.
No, it's so good.
Cool. I think the sequel is significantly better in all honesty.
Also agree.
I agree.
I like both, but I also like the
I have watched
Blade
Runner like 4 times now, and I still feel like I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't connect with the first film very strongly. It's more of one of those things where like I appreciate it for its time period and how it inspired a lot of things, but like.
Yeah, Adam, didn't you?
I assume everyone watching Blade Runner 2049 feels like Ryan Gosling.
Like everyone talked about how good Blade Runner was, and then I watched it, and it's like, okay, is this one of the 200 shitty cuts?
Yeah.
Like
that's crazy. That's so funny. I like a movie so much.
Have I really seen this movie?
Did you watch the 2049?
I haven't seen 2049.
No. You should see it because it's not like the same movie at all.
I think
That's
it takes
good.
I think it takes the things that worked about the first one that everyone loved and kept them, and then it removed some of the dragging and stuff that people weren't huge fans of from the first one.
Sad there was a massive
spoiler
in the
trailer.
Like more boring than the first one just because of, I guess, a different story approach.
What's the worst Denis Villeneuve movie out there? Like it's.
I don't know. It's just that the worst one is Enemy, but I kind of like that one.
We got Dune Part 2 next month. Finally, it's
finally
out.
I'm most excited.
Popcorn bucket. Let's fucking go.
I'm most excited for the movie to come out so he can start working on non-Dune movies again.
Chad, just to answer you, like I don't know. Personally, I didn't really think about these kind of questions, like whether Harrison Ford is a replicant or not, because like especially when you get to the second one. You know, like I felt a lot of the appeal of like Blade Runner. I may repeat talking points. It's the world in itself, like especially with the first one, the character wasn't even like the big focus.
Well,
if you guys don't mind, like the world.
I just made a video essay about this, and if I could give like a 30-second rundown on why it's important, in my opinion.
Oh, please.
So all right, starting. Okay, so Blade Runner 1 and 2 furthers these themes. It's all in essence like one of the major themes is just slavery, right? We've created a new slave race so we don't have to, see sea beams glitter on the moon of Orion. So what happens is the first movie in essence is about these race relations between this class of humans who think that the other class is subhuman. And that whole movie is watching a guy who is not only a guy who like is mildly racist, it literally his job is hunting and murdering those people, right? So we watch him translate over the course of the film from basically like, weapon of the oppressors, to Rachel is the one who starts knocking down those barriers by saving his life, and then they have a romantic entanglement that doesn't make sense. And then by the end of the movie, Roy Batty is the one who kind of tips it completely over, and we see in the Tears and Rain speech basically a moment where a human learns how to be human by a robot, and I think that's a very powerful theme.
Oh, okay.
So then we go to the next movie, and Kay is it's unquestionable that he's a replicant. Like, they've made it very clear. Unlike, in the first movie where you have to play games. So now we have a story of, the first one is about basically like a guy who hunted down slaves in like antebellum time, switching teams. And now this new one is about the group within themselves having a person who is dropping the shackles. Like in the beginning of the movie, Kay is extremely subservient to the overt racism that he's dealing with, and we watch it. Interlinked. So he ends up, because of specifically things that Deckard did, like going and running off with Rachel, like at the end of that movie, we have the dove, right? And it's this feeling of like, if a guy like Deckard can change his ways, then at least there's hope in the future that things don't always have to be this way. And then we go to the future and we see Kay going through the same thing, but the catalyst that kicks Kay's journey off is direct decisions that this human man, if you think he's human, had made by having a child with Rachel. And then the big kind of crisis in the second movie is that this baby was born of a replicant, which that's plenty powerful on its own, but I would put it to you that it's much more powerful if that baby is literally the physical what do you call it? Like the fusion of flesh between actual humans and replicants. If this kind of thing can exist, then it's like all of that art, because Robin Wright gives the speech about how like there's a wall and everyone believes in that wall, and if everyone thinks there's no wall, you bought yourself a war. Or later when she's like, okay, this breaks the world. It's like, that's why it breaks the world, is because the whole false propped up racial social order they've created completely falls apart because of this thing. If Deckard's a replicant the whole time, then first off, I think most of those themes just kind of go away or get muddied, but also him and Kay just kind of have the same story. They're both about a replicant who chooses to fight for the replicants. Well, of course he chose to fight for the fucking replicants. So it kind of ruins that like 1, 2, 3 step. The last point I would like to bring up, and I obviously have others, but the last one I think is kind of important, is that I love the introduction of Joy. I always wanted to call her Joey. I don't know why. Joy in the second movie is important because I think she represents like a third class of citizens. So basically humans are above replicants, and then replicants are above holograms. And that is even echoed in the scene where he's talking to Tully, I always forget her name. And she's like, oh, you don't like real girls. So even replicants are kind of like racist and shitty to holograms, even though the holograms seem to have a sentence as well.
Yeah, they're
so
like...
Then what you have is like, Deckard's a human who falls in love with a replicant, and then Kay is a replicant who falls in love with a hologram. Like these are like, it feels like the things are put there purposely. So how can you not... How can you be the creator and then be like, nah, he's a replicant, fuck it?
That makes sense. Also, Ridley Scott's dumb, so...
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
He's kind of have a hack at this point.
I don't
My video is called like
Blade
Runner and why Ridley Scott's wrong.
Napoleon is a movie that...
I'm going to hate it.
Napoleon is made worse by the fact that it's Ridley Scott.
Oh, Adam, Napoleon has like a horse theme. It's just in one scene, but
just one horse.
Yeah, there's something. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
There's something horse related.
It sucks though, because Joaquin Phoenix is in like my top 5. I think he's one of the greatest actors of all time.
It's one of those things where
every movie from Ridley Scott everyone loves, because I know it's usually Alien that everyone goes back to.
Gladiator.
I like Thelma and Louise.
Blade Runner, Gladiator.
Oh hell yeah,
Alien.
Yeah, I mean it's not a horror movie, kind of, but
yeah, it wasn't bad.
Did anyone see Raised by Wolves? The show? No? Okay.
No.
Oh, I'm familiar with that. Wasn't it canceled
that show got David Zaslav because it got removed from HBO Max and you can't watch it anymore.
It was rough because it was really good when it was really good, but I thought it completely fell apart. So
yeah,
that was the beginning of me being like, Ridley Scott might be a bit overrated.
Yeah. The show Dances with Wolves, but got David Zaslav out of HBO Max, and now you can no longer watch it. So
that's hilarious. That's probably
any other website that pirates his movies and TV shows. I'm pretty sure those canceled shows exist.
Yeah, so I guess
that's true. Someone probably has a copy.
I guess technically maybe Blade Runner is my favorite Ridley Scott film, but even that I don't like connect with to a super.
Just in general.
Yeah, now I'm like, have I ever really strongly connected with any Ridley Scott film ever? Is my question.
I just had this exact same situation with my live chat. I was talking shit about James Cameron movies, and after a while, they were like, "Well, which ones do you like?" And I was like, I had a come to Jesus moment, like, "Oh no, I think I just don't actually like James Cameron movies."
Yeah, there's a few Ridley Scotts that I haven't seen, but like I can't imagine, based on everything else I've seen from him, like, and what the movies look like, I can't imagine that I would like fucking fall in love with Black Hawk Down or anything.
The first Alien made a huge impression on me.
No, I still like that movie. I like Aliens.
I really like the original Alien a lot. That's probably my favorite of his. On all honesty, to be fair, I haven't seen most of his stuff. I do kind of love the interviews he's been giving for Napoleon, being like, "Shut the fuck up about it being historically accurate. You're just dumb."
Well, dude, he's that guy. Didn't Ridley Scott make Exodus? Didn't he make Exodus?
Yeah.
Because we covered a different movie and talked about Exodus because we were doing that kind of like God's. What's it called? What's that movie?
Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt.
Yes, Gods of Egypt. Yes.
Gods of Egypt, written by the same writers of Madame Web.
Well, the reason we brought it up is because it's like Exodus, Ridley Scott got a lot of shit in Exodus because he hired freaking Christian Bale and Joel Edgerton, to play Moses and what's his face, the Pharaoh. And he said, like, yeah, like if I hired, Muhammad, blank, no one would have seen my movie, so I have to get like star power. So he keeps doing that. It's kind of funny how like that's become a shtick now.
I think he has so much ego that he felt like he has the right to say these kind of things. Yeah.
I mean, Ridley Scott is the equivalent of one of those fancy class people who likes the sort of upper class art, but at the same time, the art that he makes is sometimes pretentious. I mean,
I think him and Nolan have a lot of crossover.
Stupid sometimes.
And Martin Scorsese in some cases, though, too.
Yeah, especially old. I think Martin Scorsese is exactly what Quentin Tarantino is afraid of turning into, and that's why I keep saying like I want to retire before I get old and start making shitty movies. I think Martin Scorsese is exactly that.
Quentin Tarantino is making one more movie. I think The Film Critic that's coming out.
The Nostalgia Critic.
I'm sad because
the Nostalgia
Critic. He's making the critic with John Lovitz. He has some stuff that he could mine that would be so cool that I'm kind of sad that he's not going to do, because there's a couple characters that have survived from his other movies I think would be really fun to like play with again. Jules is still alive from Pulp Fiction. Mr. Pink is still alive from Reservoir Dogs. Like it would be so fun as Tarantino to be like, okay, here's kind of a culmination of these characters for my final movie.
Yeah, I would have loved to have gotten
like Jackie Brown and that other movie with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez, I forget what it's called, where it has the same character that was played by the same character from the other movie.
Oh yeah, true.
No, that's Till Dawn. There was like a Get Shorty, I believe. No, not Get Shorty.
Oh, was
it was a movie that has the same character from Jackie Brown that was transferred into another movie starring George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez.
I don't know.
I would have loved to have gotten another Kill Bill, but I don't know if those two are working together anymore.
Well, it's tough because like the story's so compelling because it kind of writes itself, right? The thing I heard was, who's the French girl who gets her arm cut off?
Sophia Fatale.
Thank you. I was told, like, I love this idea that she basically absorbs Ishii's empire and finds Vernita Green's daughter and then raises her up to get revenge against Black Mamba. But in the meantime, Bibi has grown up and could now be played by Maya Hawke. And it turns into kind of like a Kill Bill situation from the other perspective. But it's like these two, like that is like a really,
why not?
It's all there.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Like it's just there.
Yeah. Kill Bill is like one of my favorite movies ever.
Kill
It's great.
Where's
it's really
the
great.
4K?
It is really great.
Where's the bloody affair?
Yeah.
Why they haven't released that yet?
So I'm shocked that we is Kill Bill 4K announced or what? Because it's like
it was announced by Lionsgate, but they haven't done anything with it. Maybe they're doing it this year because of like the fact that it's Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary of Kill Bill Volume 2 this year.
How come Tarantino doesn't really have the same issues dealing with like Miramax and Weinstein Company and shit that like Kevin Smith does for some of his
What do you
movies?
mean?
Well, like I remember
Have
Kevin
his own
Smith
production company.
Yeah. Oh, is that why?
No, I'm asking, is that what you're asking?
No, because I remember like Kevin Smith was having problems because he obviously like some of his stuff got distributed by Weinstein. Like you can't find, I think, a copy of Dogma anywhere right now. And I think it's because like Weinstein's like holding it from him, and no matter how much he would like more people to be able to see it if they want. So I just wonder
that
why
happens
like
all the time.
Yeah, but I mean like
Tarantino maybe like it's been hard for me to find like a Blu-ray of either of the Kill Bills lately, and I wonder if that's like an issue. Or,
hey, found it. All right,
there you go.
Hey, copy it for all of us here and mail it. We'll put our PO boxes
if it's
in for
not
you.
in your possession, I meant.
So I need to get some other stuff done. So anybody who wants to have a final question, comment, or whatever, just raise your hand on the thing, and then I'll get through you in order. We're gonna start with Jay.
Yeah, I know you mentioned, Adam, that I think it was 2 years ago that you did like some sort of gambling thing on the Oscars. Which site did you try betting on, just so I could see if I could?
Well, wait, are you in Canada?
Oh, it's a Canada thing.
Well,
shoot,
all lotteries are going to be done either by state or by province. So if you're in the States, it's going to be one that you can do through your state, because the laws are all different via lottery depending on state.
Utah doesn't allow gambling.
Yeah. So
the theater my college theater is doing like an Oscars like midnight, where if you I get a bunch of like categories right, you get like 4 free movie tickets to any movie you want. So I put my survey in, and now I'm just gonna see how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they're even doing that this year for the website that I used. Let's see. I'll try to search it up later, because I would like to just throw something on something. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun this year just to see what money I could throw and see how much I could maybe get a little bit of residuals from the earnings from other people. But I guess I have to do a little bit of research just so I could understand which gambling sites allowed this.
Don't bet any money that you're not willing to lose. Is my only advice.
Gamble.
Yeah, I'll try.
When I do,
I wonder which one is going to win best.
So I don't know what to do.
I need to
when
make
I go
some
to
money
Vegas.
right now.
Yeah. All right, and then Broccoli Samson.
Yeah. I noticed your cameo a couple months ago or
Yes.
a month ago, and I was just curious, what's the weirdest cameo request you've gotten so far?
Might not be able to legally talk about it.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the rules on that, but
The weirdest one, somebody asked me to do something that was like clearly a fetish thing, and I was like, I don't know if I can even though it was like purely just like saying things, I was like, I don't know if I can do that. So I'm like, if you want me to roast you, I can do that, but I'm not gonna say those words. That seems a little too.
You have a tiny little dick, don't you?
Or something like that.
Pig, aren't you?
Did they ask you to roast something that seems a little bit too juvenile from your taste?
No, it was just
too
like
sexual, too sexually charged.
Most of them have been normal.
Tell LW my tits are not gonna fall off.
Okay, I'll tell that to LW.
Bitch.
Monk's Hood Psychosis. What's up?
First of all, I want to say that you want to know what my favorite game ever made is? Ironically, what my favorite game ever made is Out the Edge.
Oh shit!
Really?
Oh, goodness.
Ironically, it's my favorite game. Ironically.
Oh, well, good news.
It is a really funny game.
That game is going to be in the movie, so get ready for that.
Yeah.
Ironically, for Sonic 3, for Sonic Movie 3 this year, one thing I noticed is the fact that like they're literally doing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because they have the Knuckles TV show and the Sonic Movie 3, so it's literally Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So we're doing that.
It's the year of Shadow. It's the year of Shadow because they have Shadow Generations coming out this year as well.
And Shadow's.
I love Shadow, honestly.
Can we all agree that? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry. I'm obsessed with Shadow. Actually, he's my favorite.
Can we all agree it would be really funny if either like who do you guys want to see voice Shadow in the film? We need to know.
Not Hayden Christensen.
Danny DeVito.
Chris Pratt.
I am not accepting
Pratt,
any other suggestions.
It has to be Eminem. He's gonna do a song called Shadow. It's gonna be awesome.
I want to
Shadow.
see
That'd be pretty cool.
Leave the shemmy.
The this is just long-time fan speaking, but I want Jason Griffith to voice him. He voiced him in the original 2005 and Sonic X, the anime as well. And he was the best Shadow and the best Sonic, in my opinion, was Jason Griffith.
Is he the one who fucked Tails?
What?
What?
What
are you referring to?
Voice actors.
According to which
voice
lore?
actor?
I know.
Oh shit! Okay, so the Oscar. I found a website where I can do the Oscars.
One more thing.
For
And the
NBC,
Tails voice actor
anyway.
said the voice was used.
Oh my god.
Error retrieving data from servers. So maybe I'll have to go back to the Oscars.
Fascinating to read the first time.
Is that I saw my new house today, yesterday. I saw my new house, and apparently I'm gonna be living with 3 other housemates. I'm gonna be living in assisted living, which means that I won't need to get like an actual job.
Angel Dust plush.
I'll have to like.
You just noticed it right now. It's been sitting for like almost an hour.
Sorry, I'm high.
I
have that one too.
What were you saying? What were you saying?
Can't use that excuse all the time.
I'm gonna be in assisted living. I saw my new house yesterday, so I won't really have to get a job, and I'll just be able to live like a chill life, I guess. All the job benefits and all that, and I'm living with excuse me, I'm living with 3 housemates. But anyway, that's all I'll say. I'll stop now because my
that's all right.
That's nice.
Hey,
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe the roomies is gonna be like Scoot and Scott.
The worst 2 people.
Scoot and LW.
BC 467. What's up?
Oh, okay. I'm going next. All right. Well, I have a couple of things. We all know you loved Elemental because
it's the best.
Because I found this image of like the official costume characters.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I've had
very,
this image
very
on my computer
cringe.
Oh no.
It is terrifying.
Oh, that is cringe.
Get rid of it.
No, you're gonna experience it the rest. I'll go back to Raymond next hangout, but you're gonna experience this for the rest of the hangout.
It is. They're like the worst character designs ever. Oops, I don't.
They really are.
They're just so generic.
Really shit movie.
How do I make it?
I find it weird that people think Wish is the bad one.
I mean, they were both terrible, but Elemental was just like a lot more cringe, and whereas Wish was just fucking boring. Honestly,
well, do you guys remember when Pixar movies used to be like events?
Terrifying.
It was like, oh, holy shit, Finding Nemo! Like everyone's gonna go see that. You know?
Is that why
the whole John Lasseter thing? Things
that era
gone down
is
recently.
over.
Is Cars the end?
Or at least ended when John
They
Lasseter
make
made Cars
Disney
2.
slop now.
Cars 2's the end. That sounds right.
Now every time
it comes when John Lasseter was fired, so
slop.
You know, it makes me want to like. There are 2 things about this I want to go over. It makes me want to rewatch Cars 2 just to see if it's worse than Elemental. In all honesty, but I don't know if I want to torture myself with that. And another thing I found
I don't think
out
Cars 1 was even good.
Cars 1 is mediocre. It's just very fucking boring and
So there's like 100 to 1 odds on Maestro right now. I'm just gonna say. So if I bet $10 on Maestro, I could win like $1,000
on Best Picture.
For what?
Just for Best Picture.
Oh, wait a second. Why are the odds so bad?
Oh no.
That's surprising. That
so Oppenheimer pays out like 1.12. So if I bet $10 on Oppenheimer, I'd win $1.20.
What?
That is surprising. Okay.
But if I bet $10 on Maestro, I get like $1,000.
Yeah, you might as well.
No, the 10 best pictures is the highest in terms of odds.
I can't hear you at all.
What voice was used for the sex thing? Was it Sonic or Shadow?
Sonic.
Oh, thank God, it wasn't Shadow then.
All right. BC 467. What were you saying?
Yeah,
Damn,
as I was
not
saying,
here.
Can I speak, please?
Sorry.
Okay, and as I was saying, I really like you. We know you fucking hate Elemental, Adnan, but what I found out is the fact that there's actually a commentary track on the official Blu-ray, and I kind of want to listen to it just to see like what the director's ideas were making the film.
There's a couple commentary tracks I'm morbidly curious about that I want to do first.
You said Black Christmas is one of them or something?
Yeah, and then I have the commentary track for
Adam Wingert's the guest, but you didn't got the Blu-ray on time.
I was high as shit when I saw Black Christmas 2019. I think even if I was sober, I wouldn't have understood what was happening.
I have the commentary track for American Psycho 2, which I want to see.
Oh yeah, those were the 2.
I hate that.
Oh hell yeah! Who made it?
such a bad
some
score.
random person. I don't know. But what's funny is on the commentary track,
Morgan J. Freeman.
Mila Kunis.
Oh no, I meant who made the commentary track.
No, as in it's like an official one. Mila Kunis. No, Mila Kunis is on it. So I want to hear her talk about it.
Hi guys, it's me, the voice of Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
The video I made about it was very antagonistic towards Mila Kunis because she keeps talking about how like, oh, I didn't even know what movie I was making, but she has all this dialogue of literally saying, oh, and that's why I killed Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
I've heard the commentary
that movie
track.
is so fun.
I heard the commentary track
unbelievable.
Of the, Twilight. It has Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart just like shitting on the movie.
That sounds fun.
Basically.
I know that happened for the Jim Carrey movie, a series of unfortunate events where the directors were just trashing the movie in the studio the entire time. They didn't even give a shit about it. And then I always want to know, like, does
weird.
I've always want to know, like, if Madame Web when that comes out on Blu-ray, there needs to be a commentary track just to hear like what the director went through.
I would get a 4K Blu-ray and I would listen to a commentary track of Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney just being like, what the
yes,
like their interviews are so funny.
Yeah,
well,
I saw that
like
viral Twitter clip.
Yeah.
Does Morbius have a commentary track? I need to know because maybe that'll help me decide if I watch that with the commentary or something.
From what I understand, Morbius is more boring than funny.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Morbius, but I would like.
Madame Web is way funnier than Morbius.
Madame Web was fucking funny as shit. I've seen a while, and I saw Hundreds of Beavers this month. All right, I have two other questions.
Sure, go for it.
Now we know your three least favorite movies of 2023: Elemental, The Flash, and that Flamin' Hot Cheeto movie that I cursed on you for some reason. Which of those was the worst one?
Flamin' Hot was evil.
Damn, I don't know.
It's like an evil movie.
What's crazy is that I've seen all three of those, and I've seen all your favorite movies of last year.
If we're talking about like how incompetently a film was made, I would have to say Elemental is the worst. Like it didn't even have. There wasn't a single good performance, and it's voice acting, so that's like even way worse.
Yeah, the voice acting was
like they didn't even have like any voice talent.
Well, and Flaming Hot's riding a trend, right? Where they keep making all these biopics about like
I heard someone call it
Tetris, and
I heard someone refer to this genre as the biopic, as if you're just trying to make you buy stuff. So that's why they call it a biopic.
Like,
that's
Blackberry wasn't that long ago. Tetris wasn't that long ago. Now this
Blackberry was good though, because Blackberry at least wasn't trying to sell you on Blackberry phones.
I'm also just saying, like,
Tetris was about like something
regardless of like, regardless of the quality, it's just more about the fact that like it feels like there's something in the water in Hollywood right now where they're like, oh yeah, that's the new thing. Like what is just Funyuns? Let's make a Funyuns biopic about the guy who was like, ooh,
the Funyuns movie.
Yeah, right.
One day they're gonna make a movie about shoes. Oh wait, they did. It was called Air.
I think this is going to be a thing for a little while of like the kind of and a lot of them too also have a bit more of a comedic bent. We're getting away from like the walk the line type of biopic and moving into these like, again, they're like almost kind of comedic. They also play a little bit fast and loose with the details of like what happened. Oh, they all do, but this one like they do it in a way where it's like they're winking at you, like this isn't obviously the figuring out Tetris wasn't like the same as
what Adam
the new
McKay
world,
did
but
with
we're going
the
to
Big
treat it
Short.
that way.
That was like
a
the
little
first
bit
one where they took a biopic and just made fun of the idea.
Fair. I think that's kind of fair.
All right.
Yeah.
I think there's this movie that's like in the vein of like Walk the Line to Walk Hard, Dewey Cox Story. I think there was another one called Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. That one was like
that's
that was like a parody of the music biopics that was going on.
We're going back to BC 467.
Okay, one more thing, and then I'll lower my hand down. So I have an Adam and Pal's idea recommendation. We were talking about Harvey Weinstein and kids movies. I have one in mind that I think would make for a funny Adam and Pal's. Are you aware of the film Dougal?
I don't even know how to spell it.
Well,
D-O-O-G.
That's the one that used to be the Magic Roundabout before.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's basically it was a movie called The Magic Roundabout in the UK. It's the movie. The UK version is in the UK version. The Magic Roundabout is super fucking boring and not interesting. But then the Weinstein Company got the American rights to it and dubbed the entire film with celebrities and got Butch Hartman to rewrite the entire script. They didn't change any of the animation, so like none of the characters' lips move. It's literally just they literally turned a boring film into like a Shrek clone. I'm not even kidding. Which is
weird.
And I think it'll make a really funny anime house because of just how poorly made it is. It's literally the lowest rated animated film of all time. So it's just fascinating thinking about like a boring as shit British film, and then Harvey Weinstein raped the film into into literally a Shrek clone. And I just think you would find it funny, honestly.
The trailer is redubbing a British film to Americans is like kind of ruining an anime film for American audiences, only except it's much more racist because they have another film that's from England and then they decided to make something for America.
Yeah, it's like
did that with
Hitchhiker's Guide.
the Pinocchio, a true story, right?
Yeah.
They just got like American actors.
Yeah, it was a Russian movie, which was
a
weird
one. It was Russian, and then they did British.
They had two different English dubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Father, when can
All right.
I'm done now.
Pauly Shore was the redub, by the way.
Right.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pauly Shore was the redub.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the Napoleon Dynamite guy was also
the original Pinocchio sounded like a fucking chain smoker.
Hell yeah!
Father, when can I go to be on my own?
All right, Meat Boy.
Yeah, two quick things. One, since we talked about commentary, commentary track. There's I want to mention some really good commentary track, and one of them, just one actually. Wow, everything by Terry Gilliam, because whenever it comes to his commentary track, he's like very passionate about his craft. You know, he goes through all sorts of detail about how things were made. You know, unlike Zack Snyder, that's just like, oh, this is the wheat. You know, I measure the wheat. You know.
Yeah.
He actually goes into like how it worked with the theme of the film. You know, what his thought process behind it. It's a very all of his movies commentary track are very educational.
Okay, great.
Highly recommend to listen to some of his. So the second part and the last part, Adam, is there any good sports film?
Sports film?
Or films about sports?
Sports.
Yeah.
Space Jam.
Sport.
I have a soft spot for Happy Gilmore, to be perfectly honest. Happy Gilmore, it's not great, but I have a soft spot for it, to be perfectly honest.
Jam is a furry indoctrination movie.
I still think
and it's also a sports
is
film.
The best sports movie ever.
Which makes it doubly good.
Wait. So sports is responsible for furries?
Yes.
It all makes sense now.
Yes.
My favorite sports movie.
I mean, mascots.
I don't know. I'll have to think of it like another sports movie. I don't.
That is so true. I never thought about a lot of furry costumes.
There's
like
quite
similar to mascot uniforms.
Is Shaolin Soccer a sports movie? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes.
Right?
But does it have furries? No, so it sucks.
Yeah, so Space Jam's better.
Of course.
I feel like there's
any documentaries about sport.
I don't know.
You know, the best sports movies in my opinion are the ones.
What about the OJ
sport,
documentary is loosely about sports?
Yeah.
What about Icarus? I heard Icarus was about.
It was good.
Oh yeah, I watched that for film class. That's a good one. I like that one. I watched that for
boxing.
film class one year.
Specifically documentary.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Rocky, right? Or Cinderella Man.
One through 4 is fantastic, but we don't talk about 5.
Oh, if we're talking about sports movies, I have a great one, Raging Bull. That's a great one.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
All the best sports movies are not really about the sport. They're just about,
exactly.
And it's normally
$1 Million Baby. It's a good sports movie.
Yeah. Baby.
Does The Fighter still hold up? I haven't seen them forever.
Yeah. It's not even that old.
I just haven't seen
all right, guys. Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna leave now.
Right.
Once again,
Have
thank you so much. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you so much, Olivia. Thank you so much, Chet, and thank you so much, everyone else. Later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right, Tate.
Hey everyone. All right. So I heard Olivia say something that I could actually contribute to a bit. Olivia, did you say that you were heading to Vegas somewhat soon?
Yes.
Cool. I actually just went to go see some friends there about 2 weeks ago. It was my first time going out there. I don't know if you've ever been, but basically, best advice I could do is go there and just do everything normally, but also do it high. That's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Sounds rad. Yeah. Literally, just like walking up and down the strip high is a lot of fun. So long as you don't get hit by a car, or mugged, or bump into like one of the Elvis in person. Yes,
but that's not gonna happen on the strip.
Probably not. There's a lot of people, which I guess could also mean a lot of people to ignore that happening. But the anyway, yeah, go to the aquarium high. Check out the Erotic Heritage Museum high. Just I don't know, do
Mega Mart is the perfect place to get high.
Yeah, there's even like cool art galleries and like the Caesar's Palace shops that you could walk around in. Well,
isn't there the Saw escape room in Vegas or something?
There might be. I didn't look into that.
Yeah, there's a Meow Wolf that opened up in Denver, and I really want to go there on shrooms.
Yeah, do that on high.
I want to go on high.
On
yeah.
I do. I'm with you, man.
Okay, so if I was able to, so I was at work for like half of this call, so I was just listening in most of the time. But if I signed on earlier, I was probably good. Say, ask something about if anybody here had seen Has Been, because I have.
I finished the entire series,
but I mean, it had its flaws, and Poison was the peak song, but yeah.
I liked it. I liked it overall. It's like between a 6 or a 7 for me. Although one thing that was bullshit is that Amazon started introducing ads. But here's the thing: for most of the series, it was ad free until the final episode where they finally decided to include ads in it.
Yeah, that happened when I watched it with my sister and my dad.
Yeah.
The finale, literally like the climax of the season, they fucking threw ads in.
Yeah, them throwing ads on Amazon is making me question why I would even why do I use my Prime membership? Should I just cancel?
Oh yeah, it's even worse because they're now up. What's even worse is that like on the ad free, they're now withholding surround sound on the ad free tier. So they literally got rid of the surround sound stuff unless if you pay for the ad free tier.
That's crazy.
And I heard they might be doing the same thing for 4K or something. So that's
bullshit. It's kind of unsurprising. We all knew that was coming.
Is that I think it's like the most #1 globally watched show that Amazon Prime has everyone talking about, which makes me think that if Amazon were to listen to this, then something like say Rings of Power, where you take an original IP and then just kind of ruin everything that made the property worthwhile and kind of butcher it. I feel like Amazon should take notes on what makes something like Netflix work in terms of original IP instead of just rehashing old ideas and turning to something that nobody likes as the end product.
Yeah, I think I'm going to cancel. I think I'm going to have to cancel my Prime membership.
My parents are paying for it, so I get to keep mine. But I'd still
why would I pay for it? What's even on it?
I mean, isn't it part of your Amazon Prime though?
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, do I care about free shipping for tiny orders under $25?
Right.
I care enough, so I just did the upgrade.
My problem is I have multiple, like I have a YouTube channel where I do video essays, and I have another one that's a reaction channel, and so like we watch stuff on Amazon all the time, so it's like I feel kind of like I'm just forced
obligated to.
The only streaming services my parents own now are Netflix and Amazon because they canceled Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. And I want to resubscribe to Max at some point, but as I said, the Coyote versus may turn me off by it. But I'll resubscribe to Max. What?
Why did people drop Max?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my parents did because I was the only one who was using it. But
I thought you were saying it was like boycott or something. Okay, I get it.
No.
I would drop Max if I wasn't sharing an account with someone.
The problem is Max still has like most of the best shows, like Barry.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like it has a bunch of good shows. The new Park Chan-wook show is going to come on HBO this April, and I'm excited to watch that.
Park Chan-wook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Sympathizer. It just got a trailer, so I'm excited for that.
This wasn't the first time Park Chan-wook made a TV show.
No.
But he made it. But yeah, it's a limited series, and I'm excited to watch that. And also when The Rehearsal Season 2 comes out, and
that was a nice one,
Smiling Friends Season 2 comes out. So I'll subscribe to Max at some point, but currently I only have 2. What?
Well, the release date's on my birthday.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Right on. The Sympathizer. And it's also a Sunday, so I'll probably just be playing games anyway.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Sympathizer, and then I'm also when Smiling Friends Season 2, when The Rehearsal Season 2 comes out, that's when I'll resubscribe to Max. But I'm like, I am never gonna fucking resubscribe to Disney Plus at all because there's absolutely nothing on it. Like, and what I've been doing.
There's nothing I would watch on Disney Plus other than like two things that are just old.
The only thing Disney Plus
it's mostly
is Marvel shows and Star Wars shows.
Yeah, like Marvel and Star Wars. Like, who
what
cares?
I've been doing recently is I've been just
also,
buying a
I'll
bunch
never
of
forgive them for censoring Hamilton.
Yo, the Sympathizer trailer was good.
Yeah. What I've been doing recently with Disney stuff is I've just been buying a bunch of Blu-rays of like Disney movies that I actually want to own, like Nightmare Before Christmas, The Lion King, Toy Story 2, etc. And I'm just gonna like, because I'm like, well, there's no point of having Disney Plus when most of the stuff I don't care about. I stopped caring about Star Wars a long time ago. I don't care about Marvel stuff, but except for Guardians of the Galaxy, but that ended. And I guess Spider-Man, I like Spider-Verse a lot, but like, there's nothing on Disney Plus that allows me to keep going.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing I also like, the one documentary that I had to watch on Disney Plus, the Bobby White, that's free on YouTube on the National Geographic channel. So there's no fucking point of having Disney Plus.
Right. That's a good
I mean, there's all the Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy on the adult section.
There's
there's a convenience factor for the Simpsons, but that's about it.
I'll probably just have to have it to cover Deadpool, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking torrent everything, so whatever. Tate.
That's fair.
You're gonna make tortillas, you mean?
I'm going torrenting is not illegal.
Adam, if you need tortillas,
but you will be torrenting in Minecraft, yes,
with your friend.
I didn't say I would torrent illegal things that I don't have the rights to. I just said I would be torrenting.
Just furry visual novels.
I'm allowed to torrent. Torrenting is not a crime.
Yeah, if
file
you
sharing
have your
is
friends
not
over and watch a movie, is that illegal? Huh? Am I a criminal? Exactly.
Can we just torrent something that's made for the Oscar recommendations?
If you need tortillas of some of the Oscar shorts that are unavailable, like War is Over, or like the ones that you can't find easily, let me know.
We'll see if I even get to the point of watching the shorts.
You are ruining the tortilla joke.
I don't even give a shit anymore. All right. Tate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was still. Okay. Yeah. I guess one last thing I wanted to say is that it was cool to. When I got back home, I've just been examining some of the new like Criterion 4Ks that I've gotten. Like I invested in the Train Spotting 4K, which I think looks really awesome.
Ooh, I want to get that.
And one that I was worried about at first is I don't know how much anybody here would know, but I also got the 4K of McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which I thought was a movie. If any of you have ever seen it, it looks like a movie that can't like have the picture quality be improved because kind of like by design. But at the same time, like comparing it, it's an amazing movie, but it's something where like, wow, they were somehow able to make some improvements in it, but like there are a lot where it's like you can't really tell the difference, but there are some moments that really shine.
That's cool.
That's a really good. If you're ever in the mood for like kind of Western movie, Adam, I would highly recommend that one.
Because I'll watch list it.
I don't think I've ever heard you or anybody else really talk about Robert Altman films, and that's one of his more like it's got a story kind of movies to it.
I was pretty happy to see Peeping Tom get a 4K transfer this May for Criterion, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a while.
I am pissed that Anatomy of Fall is not getting a 4K Criterion. It's just a regular Blu-ray, so that pisses me off. For Anatomy of a Fall, it's like,
well, Neon will probably do a 4K later because it's Neon.
Yeah, I guess so.
So why wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, this reminds me. My birthday's next weekend. I'm getting some Criterions for my
Happy
birthday next week, so that'll be
nice.
Thank you.
Heyo.
I'm 2022, so that'll be fun.
So, Heal It Finn, just FYI, we're ending this soon. I know you came late, so if you have any questions or comments, just raise your hand and I'll get to it.
Is there any way, like, I often get notifications, like, quite late. That seems to be a common thing. Like, are they automatically my Gmail account? Because I've wanted to come from the very beginning for the past few months. But,
is there
any way instant notification for that? So, like, the second
so there's a few ways. I don't know if you have the Patreon app. That sends out notifications. If you're saying it doesn't get sent to your Gmail right away, or no?
It's weird. No, it doesn't. Like, I'll just suddenly see a notification on this YouTube channel, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, the fucking stream is starting," and then I'm here.
Well, the YouTube one starts like when the stream starts. So if the bell's turned on for that, then you'll see a notification there.
I memorized the time.
Yeah. And also like if you go to the Patreon page and you just see where the tiers are listed, you'll see the date and time for the Hangout.
Okay. All right.
Like usually, yeah. Like just check in the first like couple days of every month. It'll be posted. Well, it'll be updated there. Like you won't see a notification for the new date, but it'll like I just changed a piece of text basically.
What day was last month? Is there a specific? Is it normally around the middle of?
I usually do like on a Friday at like 1 p.m. in whatever time zone I'm in, which is sometimes Pacific and sometimes Eastern.
Yeah, I see.
And so next month I'll probably, if I do it next month, if I do it at the very beginning of the month, it'll be Pacific time, but I will probably be doing it like the third week of March at around this time. I mean, Eastern time.
There's a good chance I might not make it because I'm doing a group project where we're going to film a short film in March, so I might not be able to make it, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I might.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
The short film I'm doing is like a parody of the Blair Witch Project, but it's like about like it's like the main guy's like a conspiracy nut or something, and it's something that we're working on. I'm trying to get. I literally all day today I just went around the university hanging up flyers for auditions. So we're gonna I think on Monday the 26th we're gonna hold auditions about who's gonna play it, but it's gonna be a fun thing. Thank you. It's my first time ever doing this, and I'm kind of scared, but we'll see how it all goes. If I'm allowed to show it, I'll show it to you guys eventually. Okay, cool. But if not, then we'll see.
Sick.
Boards of Cinema. We're ending soon, but you can ask a question or comment.
All right, that's okay.
Actually, Adam, I don't think that wasn't my main.
Sure, go for it.
Main question I want to say. Yeah.
Oh, are you asking me right now?
After Hewlett fan.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, I imagine. What did you think of Aspen Hotel?
I didn't see really any of it except for the one song that's apparently the best one. So
Poison.
Yeah.
Loser.
I love Poison.
Yeah, Poison.
Yeah, I'll probably get to it at some point.
What do you think? Obviously, he's like the guy paying $50K for having like Charlie like chase off.
That's funny.
That was
you know what? Like
funny.
That's what's funny to me about that is like it's so well produced, and then that just in the same conversation as him being like, I'm bankrupt. I'm broke.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and he's still getting like a good amount of views, but like animation's tough and expensive, right? So.
I feel like if that video was like on E621 or something, nobody would
say
give
this,
a shit.
Adam, but we all know, Adam, as I said, you're just gonna spend the same amount of money on an animation of you and Scar having sex. So we're gonna see how that goes in the next couple of months.
Nah, I'm pretty smart about how I spend my money. I've gotten a good deal on everything I've commissioned.
Which is funny since the music video that was based off of is much more crazy than the video that everyone talks about.
I have never spent in 4 digits of dollars on anything furry porn related.
I love that string of dialogue. Like, no, I wouldn't waste money. I'm really good with my money. I get good deals.
Yeah, well,
not 3, 4.
I said I have never spent 4 digits.
Oh,
as in
your fursuit.
I said furry commissions.
Does that not count?
Yeah,
the fursuit. Yeah, that fursuit. Of course, it's going to be 4 digits.
Yeah, I've been trying to save up, but I'm bad at it.
Yeah, $19.99. Yeah, that's.
But let's be real. You see that my profile picture with the 2 elemental fursuits. How many would spend money on that?
That is a stretch to call it a fursuit. Not gonna lie.
I think everything's a fursuit.
Shade.
Yeah.
Just curious if the person who did the Hideaway song is getting any residuals or at least peak interest from everyone watching.
Yeah,
that
they're
video.
probably really happy that this drama happened. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Overall,
it's a good song.
Oh, right.
I won't spoil anything. I think the pilot is a bit better. The animation, I remember, was just far more fluid.
Okay.
And a bit more experimental. And I don't know, maybe having it a little bit choppier or a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that.
The pilots.
I mean,
that was like
the
story and like
pilots
sound
turn to a
editing
TV show where
bad.
it's usually a bit rough, and then everything is improved in terms of animation in the actual show.
Sound
that was like the
pilot was unbelievably annoying.
I've been
Yeah, I remember the pilot has a lot of weird sounds every time they have a joke.
Did you guys see that?
I'm glad that they really like chilled the fuck out on the sounds.
Yeah,
it got way too shitposty in the pilot.
But
like another.
I was gonna say earlier when I asked the question about Has Been, like I was just gonna say that like yeah, I've been a fan of it for the idea at least for years. I've been excited for it, but the show itself I think is all right. I liked it. I was amused by it. I think it could have been so much better. Not just
I think it's a flawed
gem. Not just in terms of its pacing. That I think is like the single biggest issue that is apparent in it, but also just like the writing style in general and kind of how like a lot of the songs are incorporated. I think they're good songs, but I think that they kind of like mess with the flow of the writing.
I appreciate it a lot just as like a clear passion project.
But it's one of those things where like at the same time I'm super excited to see like where it keeps going. Like I still have a ton of interest in seeing where it is, even though I think like it could have been executed quite a bit better.
We got to wrap things up. So we'll get to
least they're doing a season 2 instead of just.
I think it was what it was.
I'm going to start meeting people. I'm going to start meeting people. Okay. We got to wrap things up.
Myself.
And
Mitzi sucks though.
So Boards of Cinema. I'll get to your question, Chad. The one I was talking about was Uzumaki is the one that's coming out, but I've heard mixed things. I've heard mixed things about the other Junji Ito. Anyway, Boards of Cinema. You've got a final question or comment?
Yeah, I'll just make it really quick since we're wrapping up.
Sure.
So I think you should add the movie To Live and Die in LA to your watch list if you haven't heard of it. Like, it's a 80s crime thriller of Willem Dafoe. I think it's quite good, and it has a 4K Blu-ray.
Okay, it is on my watch list. Somebody told me about it at one point, but I don't know anything about it really. William Friedkin, I think I've seen something from them. Let's see. Oh, they did Cruising. That was a funny movie. And The Exorcist and The French Connection. Nice. Okay. And Bug.
Right.
Ow.
Yeah. Okay. So I will be streaming today. I'm going to definitely do a watch along for I Am Sam.
I need to take a nap.
Yeah.
And I'm streaming Night in the Woods with Shark.
Is that my daughter in there?
I've never seen it.
You haven't seen I Am Sam and you saw Tropic Thunder. Oh no.
I know, right? So there's a lot. There's a big level of expectation. I'm gonna make some food.
Afterward,
I'm gonna make some food. I'm gonna edit some stuff. I might do some trailer reaction, but we're at the very least gonna do a watch along. So if anybody wants to watch,
I Am Sam got nominated for Best Actor,
I don't
which is
think
surprising seeing how the rave reviews that it's been getting.
I don't think it did.
Is I Am Sam for Sardana cast?
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Oh shit!
We talked about it earlier.
Will you ever?
All right, I gotta go. I'm getting a phone call right now too that I want to answer.
All right,
so thanks for hanging out, everybody. Bye.